His Eagle defense has been everything people expected. But offensively, the Eagles are grounded, unable to establish a running game, and frustrated by poor pass protection. The young Philadelphians are struggling. Chuck Knox teams have always played above their physical abilities, but this year, after a 5-2 start, the Seahawks' confidence appears totally eroded. 4 consecutive losses and the inability to score points have left the Seahawks all but eliminated from the '86 playoff picture. Today, the league's top running quarterback, Randall Cunningham, squares off against the AFC's best runner, Kurt Warner, as the Eagles meet the Seahawks. Good afternoon, everyone. The Eagles are starting a 2-game trip to the West Coast, and today they're here in Seattle to play the Seahawks. It's raining like heck out of doors, and very shortly more than 60,000 will start raising the roof here in the Kingdome. They can make some noise, and the forecast for this area is bad, but we'll be comfortable here today. I'm Jack Buck with Joe Theismann. And Joe, even though the Eagles have lost 3 in a row and Seattle has lost 4 in a row, we expect a good game and a lot of fun here today.
It should be a lot of fun, and the Eagles' success has got to hinge around young Randall Cunningham. Now, there's a guy who's gone out and led his football team in rushing and had a lot of fun. The only problem is every time he's been the leading rusher, they've lost.
That's not good.
No, not at all.
Meanwhile, Seattle started off 5-2. What do you think their problem is?
Well, the Seattle Seahawks have not been able to convert turnovers on defense. And talking to Ralph Hawkins, he said that we've had 10 interceptions right in our hands and have not been able to convert it. On offensively, you can't win football games by scoring just 7 points, which the Seahawks have done the last 3 football games. So they're going to have to put more points on the board if they want to stay with this tough Eagle team today.
Well, we'll find out how good the Eagles are going to be on offense today. They have won the toss and they'll receive. These two teams haven't met very often. Philadelphia has won both times they've gotten together. And Norm Johnson will kick it off for the home team. And back deep is Charles Crawford along with junior Tatalatasi. There's Crawford, number 45. And Tatalatasi right alongside. We hope you enjoy the telecast today from the Kingdome as Johnson awaits the word from the referee, Ben Dreith, and away we go. Tatalatasi is driven way deep into the end zone. That's a good way for the home team to start the game. The ball will come out to the 20-yard line. And Randall Cunningham makes his 6th start ever for the Philadelphia Eagles. And the defense for Seattle, a 3-man front. Jacob Green, Reggie Kinlaw, and Randy Edwards. Their linebackers, Bruce Schultz, Fred Young, Keith Butler, and Greg Gaines. They picked on their cornerbacks, Terry Taylor and Dave Brown, and Paul Moyer in place of Kenny Easley, along with Robinson. Anthony Toney is starting as a tailback, and Byers carries the ball for about 4 yards. Here's the rest of the offense along with Randall Cunningham, with Anthony Toney, the rookie out of Texas A&M, starting in the backfield with Keith Byers. Mike Quick and Kenny Jackson are the wide receivers. Up front with the makeshift line, Reeves had played guard. He's at tackle. Nick Hayden, the rookie. Matt Darwin at center. Ron Baker started every game. Joe Conwell had been left tackle, and John Spagnola. It is 2nd down and 6. Little is in as the tight end, trying to get the running game going. A loss on the play to Byers as Keith Butler, the linebacker, broke through, and a loss of a yard. So it will be 3rd and long.
There are the plays. There you see on Randall Cunningham's wrist to help him out and make the calls is a little list of plays. So what they'll do is they'll signal in the number. For example, number 6, he'll know what it is. He looks at his wrist, makes the call in the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage, and starts the whole show rolling.
From the 23 with the extra defensive backs, Gregory Johnson, Patrick Hunter, and Kerry Justin. Bobby Duckworth, the 3rd wide receiver. They run with it, and the Eagles are going to have to punt. Well, they were very stubborn about getting that running game going, but it didn't work. And there's Fred Young. You'll see a lot of him today. He's a great special teams player also.
It's interesting, Jack, that the Eagles come out and they had so many sacks last week that they just want to play a little bit closer to the vest, get Randall a little more comfortably into the game, so they come out and they run 3 running plays. I just think this is something to get them settled down a little bit. They're going to have to put the ball in the air as the afternoon goes on.
It is Telchik, and he is kicking to the #1 punt returner in the National Football League, Bobby Edmonds. And a line drive should be returned from the 38. That hurt his average a little bit, but it certainly gives Seattle a great starting spot. And Jody Schultz was downfield to make the tackle for Philadelphia after a 41-yard punt. And Craig comes in to quarterback his club. He's been under fire here in Seattle. These fans are very unhappy up in this area.
Well, they have not been getting the performance out of their quarterback position. Dave Craig was taken out for a while. Gail Gilbert went in and played. In talking to Craig, you know, he just feels a little more confident now, a little more comfortable. He says when you stand on the sidelines, you get to see things a little bit differently than always being out on the football field, and he feels like it's helped him a little bit.
First down at their own 48 for Seattle. Largent goes to the right, and the tight end is on a wing. 2 tight end offense. Kurt Warner, the tailback, and a toss to Werner. And it was Andre Waters coming up to make the tackle. He stayed away from John Williams, the fullback, who was out there as the lead blocker. It's a 4-man front for the Eagles. Reggie White, Ken Clark, Reggie Singletary, and Greg Brown. The linebackers are Gary Cobb, Mike Reichenbach, who calls the defensive signals, and Seth Joyner. He's the rookie. Rynell Young, who's playing terrific football this year, and Evan Cooper on the corners, and Andre Waters and Terry Hogue. And Wes Hopkins, of course, is absent from the lineup. It's 2nd and 6. Craig outside, and it is bobbled, and it's incomplete to Darrell Turner. Darrell Turner had been benched for a game or 2, but he's back into action. Here's the offense for Seattle. Craig at quarterback. 2 great running backs, #1 picks. Kurt Warner and John L. Williams. Steve Largent and Darrell Turner, the wide receivers. Up front, Ron Mattis, Edwin Bailey, Will Grant, Brian Millard, Mike Wilson, the former Cincinnati player, and the big tight end Mike Tice. It is 3rd and 6. In as a wide receiver for Seattle, along with Paul Scansey, and they have the 3 wide receivers. Flag is down. Pass is caught. That'll be a first down, and Scansey caught it, but we'll check the flag, and it might be, well, I won't even guess.
I believe it's going to be the Eagles offside. That time it was a corner blitz. Number 24 came off the slot to try and put pressure on Craig. No, I was wrong. Illegal procedure against Seattle.
There was something cockeyed about their lineup, and somebody, I think, moved before the snap of the ball, Joe.
Illegal motion, number 70. 5 yards, 3rd down.
Ron Mattis, the left tackle, was moving, and there is the head coach, Chuck Knox. He doesn't like mistakes of that sort. He's usually implacable, but you can tell that he doesn't like it.
It looked like Russell Gary, the defensive back, coming off like a safety blitz, got up to the line, but obviously Mattis thought he was coming to and moved out a little bit earlier.
3rd and 11. 4 wide receivers for Seattle. Out of the shotgun, Craig. 4-man rush with a stunt. Good quarterbacking by Craig. He really put Kurt Warner in full stride when he caught it for 26 yards.
In talking to David Craig, he feels like that what they've got to do is try and isolate their running backs on the linebackers. That's where they feel like they have the advantage. There you see the fine job by the line, steps up in the pocket. Now, David Craig is the kind of guy who'll move around to try and throw, not to run, unlike Randall Cunningham. And you just want to get the ball in this man's hand as much as you can because he's such an explosive back.
Philadelphia took the opening kickoff. They had to punt. Seattle had good field position. Now it's first down at the 27. Toss to Warner. Good block, Williams. And he gained about a yard. That's all. Very good penetration. They want to take the running game away from Seattle and Werner in particular with his Philadelphia defense, and Dwayne Giles made that tackle.
What they do is they force everything up the field, make Kurt Warner cut back into the pursuit, cut back into what they believe is the strength of their defense right now. And that's that front, that solid middle part of it.
Time called by the referee, Ben Dreith. And we have an injured player belatedly showing up for Philadelphia, and that's Reggie White. He usually plays every down of every game on defense, but he's hurting. Stops the clock with 11:29 left in the first quarter. And no score, but we do have some scores of earlier games. Look at there in the fourth quarter. Green Bay by a point over the Chicago Bears at Chicago. And Detroit had an easy time of it, whipping Tampa Bay 38-17. Cincinnati leading the fourth quarter. Neither team can afford to lose that game. Cincinnati by 1 over the Vikings, and Denver and the Giants have a good one. 16 all in the fourth quarter. There's some good games today. And New England has their hands full, even though they're at home playing Buffalo. They lead by 3. And look at there in the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And Cleveland is in a spot where they can't afford a loss. So those finals will be popping in short. It looks like Houston's going to win their game 31-10 over Indianapolis. We'll show you how Reggie White got shaken up. He walks off the field.
Now you see the pitch to Warner on the outside. Reggie White's right in the middle. Now he just gets somebody to fall on his ankle right there. You get in that pile up and you can't keep your feet moving. And every now and then you get your feet caught in this turf and you just can't get it away.
Reggie Singletary, number 97, will play the left defensive end. King Clark actually is playing outside, but Singletary's in the lineup. 2nd and 9. Ball came loose. Still loose. Seattle gets it back, but they lose big yards. Mike Wilson fell on it.
Seattle dodged a bullet that time. David Craig gets a lot of pressure. This time they line. There, right in the middle of your screen, you see the 3 defensive linemen, and they're bringing the safety as well as the linebackers.
Singletary put big pressure on.
Well, you see, he starts to throw, and really, he should have thrown the ball away. You're down there in field goal range. That's not a good decision by the quarterback. You have to protect field position when you're playing the quarterback position. It's as vital as anything, more so even than points.
3rd down and a quarter mile to go. Albert Fowles, Russell Gary, Greenard Wilson are all in there defensively for the Eagles. Incomplete, and Craig is fortunate it was not picked off. Fowles got up and got a hand on the ball, 2 hands on the ball, and now they've lost position as a result of that sack and the fumble, and it's too far away to try the field goal.
3rd down and 27. What you want to do is get yourself in position to be able to kick a field goal. I think they might have put the ball downfield a little too far. That time the Eagles said, we're only going to rush 4. We're going to drop 7 back and play defense. Almost resulted in an interception.
Vince Gamache will do the punting. He's averaged 39 plus. And he's kicked 7 out of bounds inside the 20. Low snap. He kicked it to the proper side. And what kind of a bounce? It'll be inside the 20-yard line as the Eagles will get the ball for the 2nd time. Greg Garrity was back there, but he couldn't handle the ball. That was only a 25-yard punt. That's all Seattle wanted. We played almost 5 minutes, and there's no score.
I think you'll see the Eagles come out now and open it up a little bit. You know, they're backed up a little bit. They're on their 18-yard line, but when you've got somebody who has the potential to be a game breaker like Randall Cunningham, a threat running as well as passing, may as well put the ball up and let the young man work.
Cunningham's a big dude. It's 6'4", 192, and he can run. First down pass. See what happens. He gets away, and he can run. And he smartly goes out of bounds. Very close to a first down. Greg Gaines chased him.
Such presence. Greg Gaines comes completely unblocked at that time. There you see the sacks. And a lot of that has to do with the youth of the quarterback as well as the youth of the offensive line. I don't think that's indicative of the way a football team plays. These are very young men out there.
But the Eagles are going to set a record for most sacks allowed ever this year.
You think so, huh? You think they're going to get to that?
Today, maybe. Dave Little checks in as a tight end. On with Spagnuolo. And it kind of looks as though Conwell will be called for procedure, because I don't think there was encroachment. We'll see.
False start, right guard. 5-yard penalty.
I think he's talking more about the right tackle, Joe Conwell, than Ron Baker, who is the right guard.
Well, they just know it's one of the offensive linemen. You know, the offensive lineman will get in the huddle now and he'll say, it wasn't me, it was you. Why did they call my number? I don't understand that.
They don't quibble back there in the huddle, do they?
Oh, absolutely. Played with a guy by the name of Ron Saul. Thank goodness we had 5 different 4s, 64, 54, 74, and Ron always felt it was somebody else besides him.
The offensive line is still intact for the Eagles. Reeves, Hayden, Darwin, Baker, and Conwell. 2nd and 6. That out there in a big hurry to Mike Quick for a first down. They ran that play in a blink, Joe.
They really did. What they want to do is they want to set Randall Cunningham quick. 3-step drops, 5-step drops. Here he takes 1, 2, 3. Mike comes out, makes the cut, bang, the ball's in the air, well thrown ball. This is very impressive. This is very, very impressive to me that Randall Cunningham can set and get the ball out that quickly.
A lot of people have been picking on the right cornerback, the veteran Dave Brown.
Yes, they have.
And that's where they went that time. First down at their own 33 for the Eagles. Here comes Byers, and he is met head up, and a flag is down. Byers has been an enigma for the Eagles. They still think he's going to be good, but he hasn't been so far. He's had a lot of problems with his foot.
Well, you know, it's interesting.
Reggie Kinlaw made the first hit.
Offside Seattle.
Offside Seattle.
Fred Young evidently was offside for Seattle.
Defense offside, number 50.
The thing that's interesting about Keith Byers is you have to remember he's missed so much at training camp. Everybody said, well, yeah, it's the 12th game of the season. He should be in shape now. Not necessarily. The time you really get in shape for a football season is during the preseason and training camp periods. You just really get out of shape during the regular season.
Here's a fella in the Eagles lineup now that I really like, the junior Tautalatasi. We've seen him have some good games. We have an injured player who is Randy Edwards, the defensive end, number 68 of Seattle. And Alonzo Mitz will replace him. We saw Tautalatasi in Atlanta. He had a good one, didn't he, Joe?
You know, he's a big play guy. He's the kind of guy that goes in on 3rd down, fills in for you, can take a little screen pass and turn it into a 25-yard gain. You know, he hasn't carried the ball more than 9 times in any one football game, but he picks up a lot of yardage in a lot of key situations.
There's Tautalatasi, number 37. His size, he's 5'10", 205. They know him up here. He played at Washington State. There's Buddy Ryan talking with his middle linebacker. And it's 1st and 5. And a draw to Tautalatasi. Look at those moves. He's quick. He gets a first down.
That's the kind of football player he is. You know, every time he gets his hands on the football, he's just one of those guys that's going to make something happen for you.
8 yards that time, and Terry Taylor on the corner had to make the tackle after Schultz, the linebacker, was tangled up.
Well, there you see him. Watch this. There's Schultz right in the middle of your screen. 58 plays off the block. He starts outside, starts inside. Now that's a runner really helping out his offensive linemen with their blocks.
Mike Quick goes to the left. Kenny Jackson to the right side. Spagnola on the right side. And the up back. Anthony Toney carries it for a few. Ordinarily, the Seattle defense is quite good. Bruce Schultz made that tackle. They hope to get some action out of Toney today. There's that final with Detroit winning and Cincinnati beating Minnesota. So Cincinnati will stay in first place. And Houston wins their game over Indianapolis. Bobby Duckworth checks in for the Eagles on 2nd and 8. Short drop and a high, hard fastball out of the strike zone.
That's the high, hard one out of the strike zone. You're right. That's what happens so often with a young man that has the arm that Randall Cunningham has. He wants to get it out there so quickly. So what he's going to do, he's going to lean on it and fire it out to give his guy a chance to run, and it's just sailed out of his hands.
You saw Washington jumping ahead of Dallas in that key game in the NFC East. Gregory Johnson, Patrick Hunter, and Kerry Justin are all in there defensively on 3rd and 7. first down. Tony caught the ball inside the 35. And a pretty good read on the run by the quarterback, Cunningham.
That was an excellent read. He took his time. He sat in the pocket, scrambled out, not to run, but to throw the ball. One thing very interesting on that play, Freddie Young, number 50, is the designated spy for Seattle. Now, what do we mean by spy? He's the man that is going to have to chase Randall Cunningham on passing situations all over the football field if he does decide to run.
And the coach, Chuck Knox, told us he's the only linebacker he has who could keep up with him.
He figures he's the only one with that much speed.
First down at the 33. Pretty good drive by the Eagles. Tony and Byers. And a pop down to the 30 by Anthony Tony. Number 2 pick out of Texas A&M. You saw the injured Randy Edwards walk off the field, a neck injury. He's been taken for x-rays, and it's doubtful that he will return. And Alonzo Mitz, number 61, is playing the right defensive end, a rookie out of Florida. So they might go in that direction. Byers is out. The extra wide receiver Duckworth is in. 2nd and 7. Short drop, quick pass, and that is caught by Kenny Jackson. Close to a first down, apparently short 5 yards. And Eugene Robinson, the free safety, made the tackle.
The Eagles have changed their philosophy on offense. Instead of using the long drops trying to get people down the field, there you see the quick set, 1, 2, 3, balls in the air, give the receivers a chance to run with it. Also gives that young offensive line confidence that there are not going to be a lot of sacks.
Isn't that somewhat the way the Redskins play?
Exactly. It's just a knit and pick. We want third down in short situations.
And that's what they have. 3rd and 1, 2 tight ends, Spagnola and a little. First down by Tony, and we'll check the flags, which come raining down here in Seattle. 6 minutes left in the first quarter, no score. I thought that it was offside Seattle. We'll see what sort of an official I'll make.
You're right.
So they'll take the penalty, and then it'll be a first down.
Ben Dreif will agree with you.
First down number 4. Philadelphia still 1 for 2 on 3rd. First and 10 at 19.
And Dreith appears to be rather calm. Ben Dreith, sometimes to see him get rather excited.
Defense was offside. Also, illegal motion on the offense. The other guy moved. We're going to offset the penalty.
I like Ben.
The other guy moved. They'll play it over, making it 3rd and 1.
I used to love to play in football games when Ben Dreif was the referee. He said the other guy moved. You know, that one over there.
Did you?
Oh yeah, all the time. I talked to him before the game. We did a game up in Buffalo about 3 years ago, and Ben was the referee, and we had 3rd down and 40 and converted it. I didn't report in, and we walked up and down the field for 5 minutes trying to figure out what was going on.
2 tight ends on 3rd and 1 with Anthony Tony in the backfield. Same play, but this time inside. I think he got the first down despite the big hits by Seattle. This crowd here used to be the most enthusiastic, vociferous gathering you've ever encountered at a football stadium. They've been turned off a little bit lately.
Well, they have. You know, that happens when your football team's not winning. You know, you just don't get as enthusiastic and as excited. It'll be 4th down if they didn't make it to the 23-yard line.
I'll be darned. I thought he had a little more forward progress than that.
Hey, go for it. This is where you got to go for it. You got a young football team. You want to build some confidence in them. Go on out there. Don't play for the 3 points. Go make it happen.
How have the Eagles been on 4th down this year?
3 out of 8.
3 out of 8.
I mean, it's not a high percentage, but I think you're dealing with a whole new environment. You've got these young guys, and they're looking for confidence.
So Cunningham calls timeout and says, we'll let the coach figure this one out. He's making more than I am. And also, he has a long-term contract. What is it, 5 years for Buddy Ryan?
I believe so. And Buddy's really started to build the foundation of this football team. You know, you just cannot look at the Eagles as a 3-8 football team. I know everybody's concerned about wins and losses, but you also have to take a look at what his philosophy is, what he's trying to do, and how young this football team is.
And I think now the Eagles have accepted the approach of Ryan, whereas some of them were upset earlier with all of the talking and the quotes. Now they say, let's just play.
That's true. There were so many things happening in the beginning. People going in and out, people being waived, cut, released, and everything. Nobody really felt confident in their job.
And a lot of those people changed up front on the offensive line.
You know, you got 3 starters at left tackle, 2 at left guard. You can read it. 2 at center, 1 at right guard. two at right tackle. The only one having been there is Ron Baker. And in talking to Ron yesterday, he said, yeah, it's a little unsettling because I have to go to the line of scrimmage and look at these guys and almost give them quizzes during the game and say, do you know who you're going to block? And try and help them out in the meantime.
When we chatted with Baker last night, he appeared to be quite bubbly about the presence of Randall Cunningham. And by the way, hello to Ron Jaworski. He's probably at a party at the Eagles Nest. And Wes Hopkins is out in Colorado starting his rehabilitation. And they're missing some people out of this Philadelphia lineup. 4th and 1. We'll let you listen. He's big and he got a first down. You trying to stop him. 6'4", 192. Got a good push from Darwin, the center. Hayden and Baker, the guards. And that was the 11th play of this drive by the Eagles, and Philadelphia fans haven't seen that very often.
No, they haven't. They're used to seeing Randall scramble around, get sacked, maybe throw the ball up in the air. This has been a good, consistent drive with some excellent play selections.
That was a 4th down play, and now the ball is at the 22 of Seattle. Talatasi and Tony are in there. Anthony Tony. Very tight formation up front. Talatasi almost bobbled it. He can move. I like him. He is out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, bumped out by Butler, the linebacker, and this is a relentless drive by the Eagles. 8 yards that time.
Here they are. They're going to come right at you. Now you watch the offensive line. The guard and 2 guards pull. Tackle cuts off. There they come around. There's Baker leading. Now you'll see him right there on the left of your screen.
Tyler Ocasio cut back.
They do. Now, anytime you can see a lot of blue shirts on the ground, the Eagle front's doing a good job.
2nd and 2. It appears that only a mistake is going to stop the Eagles on this drive. That makes it 3rd and about 4 or 5. Jacob Green got in there. He is relentless in his pursuit, number 79.
That's the kind of pressure that Seattle's going to have to put on Randall. If he's going to take short sets, what the defensive linemen are going to have to do is take 1-step penetration, get their hands in the air, and try and knock the ball down. Seattle is a bend but don't break type defense. They'll let you drive the ball down the field, but they're real tough in letting you get in the end zone.
Defensively, Hunter, Johnson, and Justin all check in. That's the first sack of Cunningham. Getting close to that record.
This is where you really got to be careful with the ability that Randall Cunningham has to run the football.
3rd and 5. And a fake draw. Good tackle. 4th down. And that was Fred Young. Remember, we told you he's the spy. He's supposed to follow him. He caught him. He tackled him.
If Fred Young doesn't get Randall Cunningham, he's going into the end zone because it's all cleaned up. Right there in the middle of your screen, Fred Young. You don't see him rush. Randall Cunningham is his. That's a mirror. You see him move? Now, this whole side to the left is open. He does a fine job of making a saving tackle.
Field goal try by McFadden. He's 14 out of 20. The center is Schreiber. It's a 35-yard try, and it is good, and the visitors jump out in front 3-0. 35 yards for McFadden. He is now 15 out of 21. He had been in a slump, but now he's back on. The Seattle team had really gone sour in the last 4 weeks, and look at their scoring.
You know, they scored 4 weeks ago against Denver. In talking to the Seahawks, they feel like that loss to Denver really set them back. It set that ball club reeling. Then the Jets come in and blow them out here at home. They lose to Kansas City, and then of course in Cincinnati last week they were barely able to get 7 points. And that concerns Chuck Knox a little bit. They're just not getting the play out of their quarterback position, and they're just not making plays on offense or defense.
The worst 3 weeks in the history of the franchise here.
Yep.
Now McFadden will kick it off. Bobby Joe Edmonds is back deep, along with Randall Morris. 3:18 left in the first quarter. 3-0 Eagles.
I'll guarantee if he was playing outside, he wouldn't want to wear that bare foot out there today.
It is cold and wet. McFadden thumps it. And this is Edmonds returning it. He's a handful. But he is stopped inside the 25, and there goes the flag. There goes the flag. Dwayne Giles, the tackler for the Eagles.
Holding against Seattle.
And this is when that Eagle defense really becomes dominant. They're good, Joe.
Well, they're very good. You know, and what they do is they basically play an 8-man front.
Holding 86 on a receiving team. 5-yard penalty and it's first down.
That was Mike Tice, number 86.
Right in the middle of your screen is Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach of Seattle. He takes a lot of pride. He was a great special team player for the Washington Redskins. He was king, and that's what they called him there. He was king of the special teams, and he hates to see his ball club make a mistake. He wants them to play with intensity and play smart.
Is he tough?
He's real tough. He's as tough as they come.
Ball's at the 10. And Dave Craig trying to get out of the shadow of his goal line. Reggie White is back in there for the Eagles. He was shaken up earlier.
92.
John L. Williams and Kurt Warner. Warner's blocking, and Williams got about 5. Williams has averaged 3.7 per carry. He's 5'11", 226. He has a lower body on him that is awesome. Man, they're like tree trunks.
Looks like a foundation for a building. I mean, you know, he's the kind of guy who just moves people along. He is everything they thought he'd be when they made him a #1 choice. And also, at this point of the game and at this particular position on the field, it's important that Seattle gets some kind of a first down to move the ball out, just for momentum's sake.
Just for old time's sake.
You aren't kidding.
2nd and 5. Motion by Largent. Here comes Warner, and he is short of a first down. And good tackling by Seth Joyner.
Andre Waters in on the stop. And assistant Terry Hogan, 8 of 2.
Joyner was cut in the preseason. He is number 59, the linebacker, and he is starting because Alonzo Johnson has a bad leg. Joyner out of Texas El Paso, number 8 draft pick. It becomes 3rd and 3. Albert Fowles and Russell Gary are in there for the Eagles.
97.
Greg has to hit this one. First down, Largent. And that's what they needed, Joe Theismann said.
That's Byron
That was Franklin who caught the ball.
Well, they put all those wide receivers in. Everybody's wearing an 8. Sometimes it's hard to pick it out, even if you're a quarterback. But there's the kind of possession pass that you really have to make. On 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4, as a quarterback, you're expected to make a completion and keep the drive going. I think David Craig needs this to get his own confidence back. He's really not. He's lost himself a little bit. You know, in '84 he went to the Pro Bowl, threw 32 touchdown passes. He's got to try and recapture that again.
Franklin did a good job of planting himself
and working back towards the quarterback when he was in trouble.
First down pass. The flag is down, and that's going to be a touchdown to Turner. Touchdown. Cooper, who had drawn the flag. Turner caught it, ran away. Neither coach is happy about that one, including Knox, whose team just scored.
You see, it's funny, as a head coach, you know, you don't ever necessarily see the end of the play. You see why you called it. And evidently, Kurt Warner didn't really pick up the block the way Chuck wanted it, but he can't complain about the results when you get 7 points.
Extra point drive by Norm Johnson. He's been perfect all year. Craig holding. 7-3 Seattle. We have 49 seconds left in the first quarter.
There's David Craig again using the short set because of the pressure that the Eagles will put on him. 1, 2, 3, set right in the bottom of your screen. There goes Cooper. And there goes Turner. Now, it's just a dogfight. He does a great job of keeping his eye on the ball. And people have been picking on Evan Cooper. They have a lot of respect for Roynell Young because of his years in the game. Evan Cooper's only played 3 years, and they don't feel like he's quite the corner that Roynell is. So if you're going to match somebody up to try and go deep, that's the side you're going to go to.
So after the field goal, only 4 plays and a 72-yard touchdown pass. to Turner, who had been benched previously. He's out of Michigan State, was a number 2 draft pick. That's his 4th touchdown.
That's what's known as breaking out of the doghouse. Not getting out, but breaking out.
And that fellow's not happy.
Well, you know, the Eagles. Well, the Eagles ask so much of their corners. I mean, you put 8 people up around the line of scrimmage. You've got your 4-6 defense, your 4 down linemen, your 3 linebackers and safeties involved all the time to stop the run. It puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the corners. And, you know, they're saying, look, if you're going to throw 5 of them, maybe you're going to hit 1 or 2, but we're going to get the others.
They're really in the fishbowl, aren't they? Those cornerbacks. This is Norm Johnson. And Crawford took it inside the 5. Big hole. And he's out across the 20 as it closed very quickly. Well, happy Thanksgiving, folks, and we're going to help you on CBS to have an enjoyable day. And you see the Packers are giving the Bears all they can handle. They'll do the same thing at Detroit in that traditional game, a rivalry they've been playing for a long, long time. And then on Friday, a day off for you, I hope, Maryland and Virginia get together. And it's on at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So it's pro football on Thanksgiving and then college football, including Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish on Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday football on CBS. Cunningham drills into coverage and try to get quick. It was incomplete. There was help coming in the person of Eugene Robinson. They'll be double teaming him all day.
Well, they will. They'll double cover both wide receivers, both Kenny Jackson and Mike Quick, because they feel like that's the strength of the Eagle passing attack, and they're going to create situations for Cunningham to have to put the ball to his backs and tight ends.
How about the Eagles when they get behind like this?
Well, when they get behind, you know, they just haven't really reached a point yet where they've learned how to overcome adversity. It's characteristic of a young football team. This is a great situation for this ball club to grow some more.
And now with the Seahawks in front, the crowd is getting into it with that wave cheer. 2nd and 10. Here comes Byers. Poor guy just can't get outside. Strong tackle by Terry Taylor out of Southern Illinois. They're moving people around up front. Edwards was shaken up earlier, and Joe Nash, the backup nose tackle, number 72, is in there playing that defensive end spot in place of the rookie Lonzo Mitz. 3rd down and 10. Hunter, Johnson, and Justin are all in there. That takes us down to the end of the first quarter, folks. We've had some action, and the score is 7-3 in favor of Seattle. Field goal by McFadden, 35 yards, and a 72-yard touchdown pass to Darrell Turner. Turner out of Michigan State, by the way, and he beat the Philadelphia player Cooper out of Michigan. We welcome those of you who were watching the Green Bay-Chicago game. And we're in the Kingdome here in Seattle, and the Bears just squeaked it out 12-10. And for Chicago, that is their 10th win of the year. Congratulations to the Bears and also Green Bay. They played a good game. We've had a field goal by McFadden and a 72-yard touchdown pass to Darrell Turner of Seattle, and that put Buddy Ryan, at whom you're looking, in a nasty mood. And now Philadelphia has the ball at the start of the second quarter, and they're faced with 3rd and 10. There's Chuck Knox. He's out in front, but his team's lost 4 in a row.
I know. You know, if you watch Chuck Knox on the sideline, you can't tell whether they're winning or whether they're losing. I mean, every now and then he'll raise that piece of paper in his right hand and he'll get a little bit excited, but he's always into the game. Now he's going to put it away because I said something about it. He's always involved in the game, and he's not just watching the ball go down the field on passes, but he's watching how his offensive line is blocking and how his backs are picking up the blitzes, which is going to be a very big part of this football game today because of the way the Eagles blitz.
You know, a lot of football coaches, having lost 4 in a row, would be in trouble, but he's not.
He's not. He's won every place he's been, and he looks at this as a growing period and just something to set him back a little, but he's not going to get unraveled by it.
3 wide receivers for the Eagles on 3rd and 10, including Duckworth. Motion by Garrity. Heavy coverage, and it is caught for out of bounds. Out of bounds to Bobby Duckworth. Now, is that the receiver's fault or the quarterback's fault?
Well, actually, it's a combination, and the credit has got to go to the defense of Seattle. What they did is they did not give Bobby Duckworth a lot of room on the sidelines. Now, here you see him moving down the sidelines. The ball takes him up a little bit by going up in the air. His one foot comes down. His other foot comes down on the line. It's a good call by the referee, but I'd have to think that the receiver's got to be a little more cognizant of where that sideline is. That was an excellent throw by Randall Cunningham.
And John Telchik is into punt. This is his second punt. The first one was good for 41 yards. And a big threat is back at the Seattle 40, Bobby Joe Edmonds. He'll rush up to return this one. Gets a couple of blocks already. He's around the 47. That's another good starting spot for Seattle. Dwayne Giles was downfield to make the tackle. After a 39-yard punt, a 6-yard return, and it's 7-3 Seattle. Way ahead among the rushers in the American Football Conference.
Kurt Warner's the kind of guy you really rely on because he's so durable. You know, he missed that 1 year in '84, came back after knee surgery last year, and in the second year coming back off an injury, he really hits his stride. Visiting with him yesterday, he says, I feel great. I really feel like we'll be able to run the football against the Eagles today.
He said I learned a lot from Walter Payton. Ball's at the 48. And it is no gain on the play. Greg Brown was there defensively, number 98 for Philadelphia. Warner told me, and here's their final score in overtime. Cleveland loses a tough game. They're now 7-5.
Cleveland won.
Oh, excuse me. Cleveland wins, so they're 8-4. Because Cincinnati won their game, and they're also 8-4. Tied for the lead in the Central Division, and the Rams are ahead of New Orleans. That'll be a tough game for Los Angeles. And Washington ahead 14-0 in the second quarter over Dallas. Second down and 11. Take a look at that fella. He was a quarterback in college
at Maryland.
25-yard gain as he sprung loose down the middle.
It's a nice job by David Craig, just being patient, directing the offense, taking the time in the huddle. See him go back, or taking time in the pocket.
No pressure, Joe.
No pressure. See, right in the middle of your screen, Mike Tice. He's blocking. Now he sees that Craig's in trouble. He breaks up the field, gets off. That's a big man, 6'7", 247.
First down at the 33. And John L. Williams gets some big yards. Now, they said they're going to take the run away from Seattle. They didn't that time.
Well, what happens is when you can't get pressure on the quarterback and you give him time to scramble around back there, it upsets and offsets the tempo of your defense completely. So now you're more conscious of David Craig moving around. It opens it up for the running game.
Here are the yards thus far for these two teams. Passing, Seattle is moving, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they have, and they've gotten two big plays on David Craig's ability to move around. One earlier in the first quarter to Kurt Warner, and just now we saw Mike Tice catch one and go down the middle of the football field.
The ball is at the 23 of the Eagles. 2nd and 1. Largent on a wing, blocking Williams. First down, Werner. Werner said that he encountered Walter Payton at a banquet last April. He just got 4 yards. And he said just a conversation with Walter was enough for him to understand the game a little bit more about exploding into the line.
Absolutely, and in talking to Buddy Ryan, he said, you know, there are very few backs who can actually make yardage with no blocking whatsoever, and Walter Payton is probably the only one, but he also has a lot of respect for Kurt Warner.
It's a first down call as the 49ers get ahead. St. Louis gets ahead. And a flag is down on another strong run by Williams. Why is it Williams carrying the ball so often?
Well, what they want to do is take a little pressure off of Warner. I'm sure the Eagle defense is focused in on him. It's going to be holding against Seattle. Anytime you see it seems like no matter how often they run wide, you're going to get that holding penalty because either the tackle or the end on that side of the line of scrimmage has got to hold his block.
And now an injury for Philadelphia with Greg Brown down on the
Offense
deck.
holding number 28. 10 yards, first down.
The call was against Kurt Warner. And a 10-yard penalty back to the 30-yard line. Brown moving around. The Cardinals out in front. There's our score here. Field goal by McFadden. Touchdown pass to Darrell Turner. We have 12:39 remaining in the half. We've had a lot of action in this one. Coming up for the Seahawks, 1st and 20. We have 12:39 left in the half. There's our score, 7-3. Seattle. They play baseball, pro basketball, and football here in this fine stadium. About 62,000 are here. And it's 1st and 20 Seattle with Dave Craig, the quarterback, 3 wide receivers. Caught by Scanzi and a fumble, and the Eagles have it. No doubt about that one. At the 20-yard line. Scanzi was separated from the ball, and Terry Hogue came up with it.
That's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles wanted to try and do. They wanted to make a turnover happen. I mean, that's what their defense is all about. There you see Craig fire this one in. Right into Scanzi. You see him run at a little delay. Now he starts to break to the middle of the field. Roynell Young hits him. Turns it over. And there's a recovery by Hogue.
And Roynell Young is limping coming off the field. Now there's a fella they can ill afford to lose from the Philadelphia defensive lineup.
He is, I think, their best defensive back and their best cover man, without question. He would, if he doesn't play in that left corner, Elbert Fowles would probably play it.
First down at the 20-yard line.
And this is a situation where I just take a shot, put it up deep and go for it.
Anthony Toney is the tailback. A fake to him. And Cunningham runs. There's running room. First down and more. He can scoop.
Well, it looks like that's what the Eagles tried to do. They ran a little play action fake into the line and then tried to send their Mike Quick down the field, David Little down the field. But anytime Randall Cunningham gets an open space, you can bet he's going to take off.
16 yards out to the 36-yard line. Look what happened to Cunningham last week. He was tackled 14 times when he ran. He was sacked 10 times and knocked down 6 times after he threw the ball.
That's right. A lot of people only look at sacks and the amount of times a quarterback runs with the ball, but you still take abuse even if you let it go.
Toney and Byers in the backfield from the 36. And a big run by Byers. That's a first down. I bet the Philadelphia fans are saying about time. That poor guy's had trouble getting untracked. 11 yards.
Well, he has. You know, he's only averaged 2.9 yards per attempt. And as I mentioned, you know, he's a young back, but he's still learning how to play the game.
Out to the 47 and another first down. The Eagles are trailing by the score of 7-3, and they put in Totalatasi. Buddy Ryan trying to come from behind in this one. Totalatasi is the tailback. A delay. Good move. Another good move, and he was tripped. But he got about 8 yards.
Well, what sets that play up is they have to respect Randall Cunningham's running ability. As he starts to roll out of the pocket, there you see Totalatasi.
Now he's shaking up.
Landed hard on the ground.
First quarter score, LA Rams 7.
The ball is now in the Seattle 45.
As I was mentioning, you'll see, watch the defense of Seattle flow to the left and move with Cunningham. You know, they know his ability to run. Now they run some counter action back against the flow. There's the move on Young. Totalatasi makes up the field. Another move. I believe it's that cut right there.
Greg Gaines brought him down. We have 11:16 left in the half, and they are treating Totalatasi. 7-3 Seattle. For the Eagles at the 45 of the Seahawks. Quick had it tipped away from him. He was flying, and somebody got a hand on it. It's a good thing they did.
That's right. Well, that's the thing we were talking about, is with Randall Cunningham setting so short, you know, Keith Butler jumps up in the air and just gets his hand in the way. Anytime a quarterback's only going to be 4 or 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, you've got to have your linebackers and defensive linemen get their hands up.
Totalatasi walked off the field under his own power. Looks like he's going to come back after they examine him. That's only a guess.
He might have turned his ankle, I think, on this turf.
Here the officials calling time on 3rd and 2.
Well, Seattle signaled timeout. I don't think they got the substitution that they wanted.
Seattle, first timeout.
Well, they had put in 4 extra defensive backs. Justin, Gregory, and Hunter. One of them's a linebacker, Sam Merriman. They didn't have the proper combination out there.
They didn't have it, and the Eagles had their short yardage people in, so they weren't ready for him.
Randy Edwards, the defensive end of Seattle, out with a bad neck. He will not return. It's Reeves, Hayden, Darwin, Baker, Conwell up front, Spagnola, and Little. Now they take Little out of there. 3rd and 2. Motion by Quick. Big play. Pass play. Short drop and a good catch and a first down. Anthony Toney really helped Cunningham out on a tough throw.
That's one of those things that Randall Cunningham's going to have to learn. He's got such a strong arm, and he's got such an elongated release.
No touch.
Well, that's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted to say. He hasn't quite adapted to the touch yet. There's a finesse thing to throwing the ball to short receivers 5-6 yards down the field. And he's got such a strong arm. He's going to learn to do that, I'm sure. But you know, he's a talented guy, and his strength right now is throwing the ball up the field.
You can do that.
Well, that's because I didn't have the arm he had.
And Johnny Unitas was terrific on that, wasn't he?
He and Starr.
From the 38, first down for the Eagles. There's a bootleg. The play was called all the way. Look at him go. Oh, he's fun to watch. Inside the 25.
There you saw it, and he just did get away from Freddie Young, who's responsible for him. Now that's what happens when you play basically a box and one. You let 10 men play one defense, and you let a defensive line or a linebacker be responsible for one man. If Randall Cunningham makes Fred Young miss like he did that time, you wind up with him running wild and free.
That was a designed play, right?
Yes, it was. That was a bootleg. That wasn't a broken play.
Ball at the 23. Joe Nash made that last tackle. It's a good drive by the Eagles. We're down 7-3. And the draw to Byers. Oh, as he turned around. That was a little slow in developing, wasn't it?
Well, Byers doesn't move quite as quickly as Totalatasi, so what happens is you're going to see him hit the line and go. That time Fred Young said, look, I'm not missing a tackle this time, and nailed Byers.
Ooh, and Byers was turned into the line half backwards when he got walloped. That had to hurt.
You know, they have him play in the halfback position. He looks to me more like a fullback type. You know, you look at the legs on him and the foundation that he has.
2nd and 12 as Byers comes out. Totalatasi, by the way, has a sprained ankle. They expect him to come back. Cunningham into the end zone, and he overthrew Bobby Duckworth. Duckworth moved around with a few clubs. Free agent from the Rams most recently.
Final score, Chicago 12, Green Bay 10.
They're giving him a lot of time to throw.
They sure are. You know, Conwell, Hayden, Darwin, Baker, Black, they're up doing a super. There you see, now they go to a 5-step drop. He sets, and you see that release. Now Duckworth right there is going to break free, and the ball is just going to sail out of his hand.
Plus the threat of running gives Cunningham time, doesn't it?
It gives him a lot of time. It also makes that defense play a little more cautious.
3rd and 12.
Now is when they have to be cautious of him running with the football.
Garrity and Duckworth are in there. Work together, and a flag goes down. A flag goes down. I didn't see anything untoward. I was watching it all the way. Kerry Justin was covering. They might rule that that ball could not have been caught, even though the flag might have been a legitimate flag.
It was an awful late throw.
He was also hit as he threw the ball. Boo, say the fans. Don't do that to us. That was 3rd down.
Down about the 3. Hold on.
No penalty. The ball could not be caught.
So it's 4th down.
I know the Eagle fans aren't going to agree with that, but Randall Cunningham's hand was hit just as he was releasing the ball. You'll see him step up in the pocket. Now, just on the left of your screen, you'll see Randall Cunningham start to throw, and there you see the ball get hit and his arm get hit. Now, the ball will fall about 10 yards short of the end zone, and the receiver really does not have an opportunity to come back and get it.
Yeah, I agree with the officials. Good call.
Although I can see also why he threw the flag, because he had reached out and grabbed him. So it's a good job by the
Here's a try by McFadden of 42 yards. He missed it. McFadden is 1 for 2, and the Eagles still trail 7-3, and that ruined a very good drive. And then after you enjoy football on Thanksgiving Day on CBS, it's a doubleheader Sunday. How do you like that matchup with the Rams against the Jets, who at this moment are 10-1, and the Rams in contention. In the second game, these same Eagles playing at Los Angeles, and so the Eagles are going to stay out here on the West Coast for a week. They'll fly right out after this game. From the 25, Seattle takes over after the missed field goal. A delay to Warner. And he got about 6. Back in the lineup at the left corner is Ronell Young wearing a pad.
Well, you see, what happens is on this AstroTurf, when you make a tackle or you go after somebody, your knee just gets jammed right down into the carpet, and you wind up bruising it a lot. So you find out little areas that you have to pad as the game goes on. There you see the ones on his elbow because they hit. He's got the one on his left knee. I wouldn't be surprised before it's over. He's going to have one on his right knee.
He has 4 interceptions this year. 2nd down and 4. And the fullback. Ooh, he's smothered. Williams had people all over him, including Greg Brown, who's back in there, and Seth Joyner, the rookie linebacker.
It just puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback here. You've come out, you've run on 1st down, you've run on 2nd down. Now you've got a 3rd down and 7 situation. And you just put a lot of pressure on the quarterback to make the completion, to keep the drive going. It would be better to mix it up a little bit, similar to what Philadelphia is doing. Throw a little bit more on 1st and 10. Take a little pressure off that guy.
Fowles, Wilson, and Gary are all in the defensive backfield for the Eagles. They show the blitz. The blitz is on, and Greg unloads it. And Largent couldn't get there. That's the one attribute that Steve Largent doesn't have, is blazing speed. And so when Craig laid it out, he couldn't run under it, and it was Terry Hogue in on top of the quarterback.
I'll tell you, I don't think it mattered whether Steve Largent had blazing speed or not. David Craig is upset with himself, but he did an excellent job just to get the football off. He couldn't hang it up too far because he didn't have enough time. Give credit to where credit is due. The Eagles did a fine job of putting pressure on him that time.
Vince Gamache will punt. And this is his 3rd. Greg Garrity is back at his 30. Rushes up and is knocked down. Boy, he took a chance handling that ball as he did. It fooled him a little bit. The Eagles will start from about their 41-yard line, and Eric Lane was the Seattle tackler. Only a 36-yard punt. Left in the half, coming out on the pass line. Joe Theismann is to my right. I'm Jack Buck, and the score is 7-3 Seattle on a touchdown pass to Darryl Turner. 72 yards. McFadden of the Eagles made a 35-yard field goal and missed one from 42, and the Eagles, with Randall Cunningham at the controls, start from their 41. Their offensive line is still intact for the Eagles. That's good for a 1st down to Quick. He lost a yard after getting up, but it's a 1st down.
You know, I think the Eagle fans, as they watch these games, the last 2-3 games that Randall Cunningham has played, and as they watch the remainder of this season, you're going to see this young man grow and mature. That time he sat in the pocket, fired the ball out there. Also, right in his left hand. You see that thing? That's called a mouthpiece. Now, a lot of quarterbacks don't wear them. I played 15 years of football and never wore one. Of course, I don't run like Randall Cunningham. But this one fits in so that if he does take a hit, he doesn't get himself knocked out.
11 yards that time. Todd Latasi is back in the lineup for the visiting Eagles from the 48 of Seattle. 1st down pass. Home run. Foul ball. 6:22 left in the half. Cunningham, and we ought to watch him, really takes his arm way back. He doesn't cock it by his ear. He's way back.
It's a slingshot. He gets that thing back there and just lets it fly, and that's why I feel like deeper passes are more comfortable for him. And in conversations with him yesterday, he said he felt like he threw the deep ins and the deep outs pretty well because of that strength. And the touches will come as far as the game goes, and as the more he plays and has a chance to just dink the thing around a little bit. But he's so strong.
Tough place to learn, though.
Well, yeah, on one respect, yeah, Jack, it's a tough place to learn. On the other side of it, it's the best place to learn because you're learning in a situation you're going to have to play in.
2nd and 10. Screen pass out here to Tony. That's a first down. And a determined run to the 30-yard line. Boy, that Tony was pumping.
Anytime you see a running back put both hands on the ball and put their head down, you can bet some defensive guys are going to get some hits put on them.
Anthony Tony out of Texas A&M. He may be the answer for the Eagles. They've been searching for a long time ever since Montgomery left there.
They have. You know, they drafted Keith Byers. Of course, we've talked about Keith and the problems that he's had. Anthony Tony has come in and played very, very well. He's provided some of the spark that the Eagles have lacked in the running game. Buddy Ryan is waiting for somebody to emerge back there. He's given everybody a chance to carry the football.
I think they have good ones like Tony and Tuttle Latasi, who's in there now. He got about 4. And he ran into Fred Young. And Young's a strong tackler, number 50, a very good special teams player. And he's the shadow today on the quarterback, Randall Cunningham.
Looking at the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, you get the feeling that they're aware that there were 12 sacks last week. And what they want to do is they want to give that young offensive line an opportunity to get some confidence. So you see running the ball, picking up 3 or 4 yards, screen passes, quick hitches, set quick and throw deep. Everything to help that line.
Reeves, Hayden, Darwin, Baker, Conwell, and the tight end. Boy, he can throw bullets. That's a first down to Spagnola, and the Yaley gets inside the 15.
Caught that one at a self-defense, I think.
Boy, he can drill the ball. Looks like that Clemens over the Red Sox.
He just sets and fires at them. I mean, I have not seen a quarterback with an arm like that, with that ability to throw for years. I think there's one other guy who plays for the Cowboys, Reggie Collier, who can really put a lot of zip on it. 2 very similar athletes, great runners, and are developing their throwing skills.
Look at the Eagles are behind, and they're dominating Seattle. And this is another good drive. They've had a couple of them today. One misfired on a field goal from the 13, and Spagnola beat the count. You better run, Randall. Get out of bounds, kid. Now they may take the play with a 2-yard loss.
Wisdom. Instant wisdom.
Spagnola moved.
Cunningham did a nice job, continued with the play, he made what he could out of it, and got out of bounds. You know, you're down in 3-point range. Down here, you know, if it's 2nd down and 12, you don't lose a lot because you still can make the first down if you get to the 4.
They talk it over. There's a loss of a couple of yards. I think Seattle will decline the penalty. They had a long snap count.
Illegal motion, number 88. They decline a penalty. 2nd down.
Right again, coach.
They had a long snap count, and Spagnola didn't get to 5 at Yale.
No.
You know those Yale people think they're so good. We got to take a shot at them once in a while.
Oh, my goodness.
The ball at the 15.
He's on 5, huh?
2nd and 12. Let's tune in. By Dave Little.
Dave Little, the intended receiver.
It is 3rd down.
There you see Randall looking over to the sidelines trying to get the signal. You know, he's wearing a mouthpiece for the first time, he said. And I asked him, I said, do you think you'll have trouble calling the signals? Will it be a problem? He said, no, it's form-fitted right around the teeth. There it is. There's that little clear mouthpiece. When he puts it in, you won't even see it. But believe me, if you get hit in the back of the head or you take a shot in the head, it really saves you from losing some time and winding up in Never Never Land.
Never mind the time. How about the teeth?
The teeth, that's another thing it saves, too. I've lost a couple of those by not wearing them either.
3rd and 12. Brooks on the right side. Garrity in motion. A flag is down. That's incomplete as he threw it behind the receiver, Kenny Jackson.
Oh, does he want to have that one back?
And I think perhaps Garrity, who was in motion, was going upfield at the snap.
He did. He turned upfield too quickly, which really negates the play, but still the Eagles would have liked to have completed that one and still got something out of it. At least make the decision more difficult for the Seahawks.
And I guess they'll
Number
decline
86
this one.
offense, they decline a penalty. It's 4th down.
And another field goal try by McFadden. Telchik will hold. This will be a 32-yard try. Schreiber with the snap, and the kick is good. The second of the day for McFadden. He is 2 out of 3. We have 3:48 remaining in this game, and it's been a good one. Fought very hard by both teams. Left in the half. McFadden has kicked 2 field goals. This is not uncharacteristic of the Eagles. They've had trouble scoring points.
Well, they just, I think twice in the entire year they've scored more than 17 points. It's a defensive-oriented football team with a young offense that's just trying to stay in it to the end.
McFadden will kick it to Bobby Joe Edmonds or Randall Morris. Edmonds the more dangerous of the two, and this short kick is going to be taken by Morris. Near the 35-yard line. A very short kick and a good return. Special teams of the Seattle Seahawks are coached by Rusty Tillman, a former
teammate of yours. Rusty was king of the special teams in Washington back in the late 70s. There you see what they've done. They're ranked number 1 in the NFL in kickoff coverage, number 12 in punt coverage, 3 in kickoff return, 2 in punt return. They've blocked 3 punts, 1 PAT. It's a very active part of their football team. There's the king.
Turner and Largent, the wide receivers. Greg, a first down throw. Got rid of it in a hurry, and a first down catch by the tight end.
That's the kind of stuff I was talking about. You've got to do that. If the Eagles are going to put 8 people at the line of scrimmage, if you run a little play action, especially with the respect they have for Warner, you're going to get people in that open area 7, 8, 9, 10 yards down the field, and then let them run. They can break a big one.
That was Hudson who caught the ball. First and 10 at the 48, 18-yard gain. Philadelphia 48. Try to get it out to Scansey. Stops the clock with 2:56 left. They had an overtime victory. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. Houston beat Indianapolis. Indianapolis still hasn't won. 0-12. And Washington pounding Dallas in the second quarter. 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
They like that in Washington, I want to tell you. Those fans get going in that stadium and you can't hear yourself thinking.
Rams have their hands full, but they're winning in the second quarter 10-3. Singletary is out. Wayne Giles, extra linebacker, in for the Eagles. That's a forward pass. Incomplete, and it was Giles just into the game, number 53, who got there along with Seth Joyner.
There you see the 3 men in the front. Now here come the outside linebackers. Giles and Joyner both coming around the cup. Craig steps up in it, and Dwayne Giles reaches around and hits David just as he lets it go. The offensive linemen have got to run those linebackers a little bit deeper. It's a little more difficult for offensive tackles because the linebackers are a lot quicker than the defensive linemen they're used to blocking.
On third down, Seattle has been successful twice in 4 tries. It's 3rd and 10. Shotgun. Mr. Clark got in there, and that's the sack. The second of the day by the Eagles. Came right up the middle.
Well, that's the thing I think the Eagles will want to do. They know David Craig is not a threat to run, so you see the twist they run. Ken Clark avoids the blockers and gets right up the middle. They want to force the middle right back into David Craig's lap. They're not afraid of him scrambling around like the Seahawks are of Randall Cunningham.
Here's the 4th punt of the day by Vince Gamache. Greg Garrity is at his 20. It's not too good. Garrity from the 26. Taken down by Eric Lane from behind after he crossed the 35-yard line.
31-yard punt.
So Gamache is not setting the world on fire with his kicking. Now the Eagles, who trail 7-6, have the ball and 2:17 left in the half.
This is another education process. You know, and I keep alluding to this because of the youth of Randall Cunningham. He's getting some great opportunities to learn, where a guy like, for example, Jim McMahon, who has been in very few 2-minute situations, has had a chance to hone that part of the quarterback skills. Cunningham now has a chance to take the ball down the field for his team.
They run the ball to Byers. He's short of the 40-yard line.
And like any coach, what's the first thing they usually call, Jack? Some kind of a draw, right?
Right. I know what you're talking about. We watched the game yesterday. Sometimes that draw can kill you, and it will if it doesn't work. We have 2 minutes left in the half. The Eagles have the ball. 2nd and 8. Chicago have already won their 10th game. Minnesota lost today, so they're 6-6. The other teams are involved. The Rams are beating New Orleans. Washington's beating Dallas, and San Francisco is winning their game as well against Atlanta. So there's the playoff picture in the NFC, and Philadelphia has games remaining against Dallas, Washington, the Raiders, so they can make their presence felt. 2nd and 8 at their own 38. Tallahassie's in the backfield, blocking, screen, hard thrown, torn apart by Seattle.
Now there's one where the young quarterback could have possibly thrown it away and saved the completion. He's losing time on the clock, and he's also lost a lot of yardage.
Patrick Hunter got in there, number 23.
There you see Randall set in the pocket. Now right to the left of your screen, you see Tallahassee try and move out. He pumps once, pumps again, and the ball was thrown a little too hard, a little too high.
Hurry up offense. We're back to work with Cunningham drilling it, and it is caught, and there's a loss on the play, or maybe a gain of about a yard as Mike Quick caught it. Somebody donated a shoe here to Goodwill. Timeout called by Seattle. They want to get the ball back. Now they have 1 remaining. Philadelphia has 2 timeouts remaining, and they have a 3rd down and long coming up. We have plenty of football for you this holiday weekend on CBS. Maryland and Virginia square away Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And then on Saturday, the Fighting Irish and Southern Cal with a rivalry which always produces a good game.
That was some great. I really enjoyed playing those football games. They were the last, usually the last of the year if you're on the coast, which I think they are. And we played 1 year out there in a torrential downpour, that torrential rainstorm. Had a chance to throw for like, I don't know, 500 some odd yards.
Did he?
Yeah, we lost.
Did you win?
No, we lost.
Here comes a punt by Telchik. This is his 4th of the day.
You know, this is the kind of situation where, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the special teams for Seattle try and go after the punter.
Looks like it. Yep, they're coming, man. Full force. And they got it. That's a touchdown. Set up that rush. There's Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach. Kerry Justin is the one who blocked it.
Now watch what's going to happen is they come right up the middle and come off the right side. They cause the Eagles to collapse in the middle. That gives Justin a chance to get in. Now who do you want to give this touchdown to? You give 3
That's funny, isn't it?
3 to 1, 3 to the other.
That's funny, isn't it? Not funny if you're with Philadelphia. That's the first block against Telchik, and the extra point is good. It's 14-6. With 1:13 remaining. Well, that's gratifying for a coach. You work your tail off all week long, and you finally get something done, and it pays off. 13 left in the half. They give the touchdown to Eric Lane,
well,
and Terry Taylor will be groaning about that.
I think there's going to be an argument who gets this.
I'd take him to court if I were.
I would. One gets 3 points, the other gets 3 points.
At least I'd take it to the Players Association.
No, they take too many things to the Players Association now.
Now the Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. They'll get the ball with 1:13 left in the half. Kerry Justin blocked the punt, and Eric Lane was credited with a touchdown.
That's Seattle's 4th block punt this year. That's a part of their football team that has really played as well, if not better, than the offense or defense all year.
But that seems familiar to you.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. Rusty has a great background. Rusty Tillman has a great background of special teams, and they're playing like he's teaching them.
Johnson kicks off to Crawford, 2 yards deep. He tries it. The Seattle team's turned down. They've lost 4 in a row. We talked with Rusty Tillman just before the game. What does it take to play on his special teams?
No, Joe, I don't really feel like that. I just do what comes natural. You know, my job as a coach is to motivate people and to get them out there to play. Players win and coaches lose. And all I do is try to get those guys fired up to get out there and be everything they're capable of being. And we have a pretty good group of players.
How'd you like that quote? How'd you like that block? Players win, coaches lose. The ball's at the 19. Out here to Tautalatasi and out of bounds. Smartly. Tautalatasi caught it, went out of bounds after getting a first down with Patrick Hunter chasing him.
Tautalatasi has a real presence of where he is on the football field. He could have cut back up, maybe picked up a few more yards, but he realizes that you're getting close to the half. You pick up a few, maybe not as many if you'd have cut inside, but you save the crucial timeout by getting out of bounds.
Hey, Joe, an old friend of yours is going to be with Brent and Will McDonough at halftime.
Yeah,
Mark Mosley.
Yeah, the guy with a flat toe.
Stayed with him that time. They were all over him, and it was Jacob Green, number 79, who pulled him down, and Philadelphia calls timeout with 49 seconds left in the half. By the way, Mark Mosley used to say, or has said, that you've been the best holder that he has ever had.
Yeah, he said that when I started holding for him, and then when Sonny Jurgensen held for him, he said Sonny Jurgensen was the best holder he ever had. And I said, Mark, you just say that to who's ever doing the job for you.
He vamps, huh?
He vamps. He'll move back and forth. And Mark was kickers are a different species anyway. But, he's the only kicker in the National Football League to win the MVP, which he did in 1982. And the reason why a lot of Redskins wear World Championships rings is because of the ability of Mark Mosley.
Now, some kickers are wacky.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not, they ought to establish a category for kickers. Like, you have football players who are offense and defense and special teams players. And then there are kickers, wherever that category lies. I mean, they get a different look in their eye. Mark used to wear his ring out on the field. I mean, you don't see offensive tackles out there with rings on.
Good guy and a very talented performer over the years. We wish him well, and he'll be in the studio with Brent at halftime. Kerry Justin, Gregory Johnson, Patrick Hunter are in the defensive backfield for Seattle on second and 49 seconds left in the half. 14-6 Seattle. They're staying right with him. Hurry up offense. That's the 4th sack of Cunningham. Jacob Green got in there again. He had 8 before today.
Oh, and also Philadelphia has to be careful of is that they don't make the Seattle doesn't make them punt again.
Guys like Green love it. There he goes again. That sets a record, folks. Or ties the record. Fred Young ties the record. Fred Young got in there this time. He had 2 sacks prior to today. They're about to break the record. We talked to one of their offensive linemen about the number of sacks suffered by the Eagles.
Well, even though I don't think it's completely indicative, I don't think it shows the real picture. It's a record that we sure don't want to set. We don't want to have anything to do with it. It's embarrassing. It's a loser's record. We don't want to have anything to do with it. It's nothing that we're proud of.
There he is on the bench. They have just tied the record.
Well, Joe Conwell brings up an interesting point. Sacks, they always blame the offensive lineman for sacks. And I don't think it's really fair because it's a combination of great defense by the other team, possibly route problems by the wide receivers, the quarterback not being sure where to go with the football, and then it falls on the shoulders of the offensive lineman as well. But you have to spread that around. I think to just blame an offensive lineman for sacks is really wrong. I think you have to look at the overall picture.
Well, they blocked a punt previously. They'll probably try it again. as Telchik punts the ball. Ooh, same guy, or Taylor came close that time. Edmonds all the way back to his 25, 30, 35. Looks pretty good, folks. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Touchdown. Sam Merriman with a key block, number 51.
Well, there you see Telchik. He gets it off quickly. His line are so concerned about blocking, and he outkicks his coverage. Now there Edmonds makes the cut back across the field. Oh, does he take a shot?
Here's the extra point try with 11 seconds left in the half. That's good. It's 21-6. That was good for 75 yards. Watch the tail end of that play.
Now there you see him make the turn. Now Bobby Edmonds does a fine thing. Instead of trying to outrun everybody, he waits for his linemen, his blockers to get in the way, and he goes in the end zone stumbling.
He was already leading the league. There's Tillman again. He loves it.
That's Ralph Hawkins holding on to him, going down the sidelines.
Well,
you might say, how could you possibly get one block and then on the other side have one return? One thing helps the other. It causes the linemen to stay, to hold their blocks a little longer. Then you get a great kick like that to outkick your coverage. He picks his way through the first line, and then they set him up and start to pick him off like flies as he moves down the field.
And the Eagles' Terry Hogue is injured on that play, and they can't afford to lose him. They've already lost Wes Hopkins at that position. The kid who just returned the punt is from St. Louis, Lutheran North High School in St. Louis. And he played at Arkansas.
Coming into this ball game, Bobby Edmonds was averaging 11.9 yards a return. Now, you don't think that's going to jack up his average just a little?
Well, who's going to catch him for the rest of the year? Probably nobody. Pleasant young fellow. We visited with him yesterday. It's a gratifying piece of work. And, of course, the people in Philadelphia aren't enjoying this scene. Watch how quickly he turns back up.
But you're also going to see he makes a cut here. Now, watch the hit that McFadden gets right there. Bam!
And Merriman.
They just look for kickers to go after. It's like a quarterback throwing an interception. There they pick him up going down the field.
They replay it here. That's the reason for the crowd noise. They replayed it on the video board. And meanwhile, Terry Hogue is up walking off with 11 seconds remaining in the half. 3 punts, 30 yards plus. Some year, huh? Previously, his longest was 44 yards. But this one was 75 yards.
You know, the Eagles have been in this football game offensively and defensively, and one of those intangibles in football is the emotion in the play of your special teams. You get an individual effort by somebody to make big plays, and it turns the entire momentum of the football game around.
Norm Johnson will kick it off. Crawford is deep, along with Todd Latasi. Boy, the Eagles have their work cut out in the second half. Squib kick, and it's covered. It's a legal kick. It went more than the 10 yards, and the Eagles have it. Only 1 second went off of the clock because it doesn't start till someone touches it.
This is where they have that. You know, we saw last week New England beat L.A. with a Hail Mary pass. I don't know if that was a real smart thing to do. You might want to kick the ball down the field a little bit more.
I agree with you.
With the arm of Randall Cunningham, you know, he's only 50 yards from the end zone. He can do that in a heartbeat. They'll line Mike Quick up and Kenny Jackson, Bobby Duckworth all on one side. Just put that thing up for a, you can have it, I don't want it. It's all right by me.
Clyde Simmons is the one who took that kickoff.
I used to hate this as a quarterback. It almost invariably ends up in an interception.
And the half is over. Well, the special teams have turned this one around. Jacob Green made that last tackle. 2 field goals by McFadden out of 3 try. Hey, this crowd loves it here in Seattle. Seahawks had lost 4 in a row and turned the crowd off, but leading 21-6, they love them again. Seattle will get the second half kickoff. Because it points out an aspect of football that people pay very little attention to.
Well, they do pay very little attention to it, Jack. The problem is we feature so much offense and so much defense, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the defensive backs, but the special teams group are made up of young players who play with a lot of enthusiasm. They very often set the tempo of the football game and can make a difference, as has happened in this one.
And you go down the rosters and you see a fellow who is the 6th or 7th defensive back, or like this particular player, Kerry Justin. He's the one who blocked the punt. That's probably the reason he is still on this team. I'm not certain of that, but the fact that you can play special teams can keep you in the National Football League.
Well, this is what a lot of coaches look at. They get a young guy and they want to know, one of the things they want to know is, can he contribute to our special teams? If he's a good player and we can bring him along, we still have to find a place for him. We have to find a place for him on the special teams.
Bobby Joe Edmonds is the punt returner for the Seattle Seahawks. He was leading the National Football League before today, and he made a very quick move once he caught the ball, and then he reversed his field and he got some blocks, and fortunately no flags on the play.
Well, you have to remember, just prior to this they had blocked a punt, so they keep their offensive linemen back in and their return people down. Now he cuts back across field. Now it's a picket line, and look at the block put on Telchik.
Yeah, that was by Merriman.
Now he picks up his blockers. He takes his time, waits to make the cut. Very heady running also.
As you said, it was he outkicked his coverage. It was a 52-yard punt, and it was run back 75 yards. And now here is Paul McFadden kicking off, and Bobby Joe Edmonds wants to do his thing again. Randall Morris is back there with him. So they kick it to Morris, and he took it on the 10. Down at the 24-yard line as we start the third quarter.
You know, it shows you a lot of intelligence by the Eagles. You know, the guy has run one back 75 yards. You're absolutely not going to come back at the beginning of the half and kick the ball to Bobby Edmonds. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get his hands on the football the rest of the afternoon.
And Buddy Ryan wants his defense to take over, get the ball if they can.
Well, yeah, it's going to be, there's a lot of pressure on the Eagle defense now. They're going to have to try and get some turnovers. They're going to try and have to stop Seattle from running the ball, which I'm sure they're going to try and do.
They have Williams up front and Werner the tailback. Tight end Tice on the right side. And they're not going to sit on it, are they? So Steve Largent caught it. That's his first of the day. His 48th of the year.
Now that's not the way a defensive back should cover a wide receiver. You don't start 10 yards away and continue to back up. There you see Largent runs a little out and up move and then makes the turn to the sidelines. There isn't anybody finer at running the route and keeping your feet in bounds. I guess I was wrong when I said they were going to run.
It's 48 on the year for Largent. He's trying to reach that coveted 50 mark, and he might today. Motion and a delay, and Williams carries for a couple of yards. And for Largent, that's 135 games in a row in which he has caught at least one pass.
The thing about Steve Largent that is so impressive is he's not real big, he's not real fast. And when you ask him about his hands, he says, yeah, I have good hands, but receiving is not just the ability to catch the ball with your hands, it's the ability to use your head as you play the position. And the thing that is so impressive to me is the way he runs his routes, whether or not he gets the football.
And he broke Harold Carmichael's old record. You folks in Philadelphia know. Does he remind you of anybody? They talk about Biletnikoff.
Yeah, I would say a Biletnikoff, or but Freddie was the kind of guy who had all that stick-em all over his hands, but yet he still did a lot of things right. I think Steve Largent's probably faster than Fred Biletnikoff was. He's one of those receivers that just stands out there by himself. People will model him, and people will compare others to Steve Largent.
That's Williams walking off. The fullback, Eric Lane, comes in to replace him, number 37. Mike Reichenbach calls the defensive signals for Philadelphia. This is second down. And 8. 3 wide receivers. Turner, Scansey, Largent. Flag is down, 3rd and 1, disregarding the flag, and that was caught by Eric Lane. Earlier in the game, we have a call against Seattle. Illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of the hands on the offense, number 75, jam in the face.
You can't jam the face, man.
No, you know, Ben knows exactly what it is. I mean, it's like over there is where they were offsides, and now they're jamming in the face.
He doesn't look like that kind of guy. That's Mike Wilson, who used to wear the Cincinnati Bengals uniform. By the way, Ronell Young is on the sideline. He was shaken up earlier with a bad knee, and now he's being tended to again. They don't think he's going to come back. He's going to take x-rays. Albert Fowles is playing the corner, number 29. And covering Largent at the moment, closest to you.
There's that Eagle defensive lineman. They're covered in 46. Now they go into a zone.
And Largent was smart enough to come back, and they avoided the intentional grounding as a result.
That was the thing I was talking about before. Is Steve Largent, everybody talks about his ability to catch the ball, but he does heady things like save the quarterback from getting an intentional grounding call. There's the Eagle defense. There's the 3 men, the guard, two guards in the center are covered, and they funnel everything so that they realize Dave Craig's not going to be able to run the ball and hurt him. So they funnel him out there, let the linebackers put pressure. Now they've got the 3rd down and long situation that they're looking for.
Dwayne Giles put the pressure on the last play. Now Bernard Wilson and Russell Gary come in for the Eagles. They want the ball. 3rd and 18. 4-man rush. Screen. Well covered. Cobb's over there. Out of bounds. We haven't mentioned Gary Cobb very often. There are games where he makes a lot of tackles, but he's not in the scheme of things. Are they staying away from him?
Well, I think they're staying away from him. He also is like a designated blitzer. He's got great speed. That particular time, I feel like Seattle was hoping that the Eagles were in man-to-man coverage. They ran Warner all the way across the field. By the Eagles being in zone, you don't get anybody picked, and somebody's over there waiting for him.
Well, that killed Cobb when they lost to Detroit in the last seconds last week.
Yeah, he wanted that one bad. Anytime a guy gets traded from another ball club, it's special when you have a chance to beat him.
4th punt by Gamache. Did a good job on the low snap. No flags. I thought maybe they'd have an ineligible receiver, and a fair catch called for by Garrity at the 30. Well, the Eagles have done one thing. They kicked off to start the 2nd half. They've stopped Seattle. They have a chance to go.
He's got his knee wrapped up. He might have just banged it on this turf. They took a picture, and we don't know the results. Hopefully it's negative and there isn't any permanent damage, but he's definitely the man in the secondary that they need to shut off the primary receivers for the other team. In this case, Seattle.
Quick to the left and Jackson to the right. First down run by Tautalatasi, and the blitz pays off. Young was blitzing, and he ran right into the play. You know, you can blitz against the run as well as the pass.
Well, a lot of coaches like to blitz against the run. They feel like if they can get that penetration, they can stop the guards from coming. There you see him right just to the right of your screen. He shoots the gap. Haddix can't get up and make the block.
Tony can't handle it.
Anthony Tony can't block it. And Tautalatasi goes down.
Young's having a nice Sunday afternoon.
Well, you know, he's designated to stay around Randall Cunningham, and so it makes a difference when you're that close to the ball all the time.
Here the draw to Tony, and guess who he had to jump over? Young again. So it's 3rd and long. He can move. He's big, 233.
Well, there you see him right at the lower part of your screen. Patrick Hunter on the outside. Now he fires in, cuts down the back trying to block him, and makes the tackle. He's just all over the place.
You've got to have backs who can block linebackers. If you don't, you're not going to move the ball.
Yeah, but you don't find too many that can.
And Jacob Green. Now, how's that for a 1-2 punch with Green and Young? A 6-yard loss and the 6th sack of the Philadelphia quarterback today.
He got sacked twice consecutively at the end of the half and then had to scramble out on the Hail Mary pass. Now they come out the first time they try and throw the football, and he gets sacked again. And it's being done by the front 4, or front 3, I should say, of the Seattle defense, which has got to make them feel awful good about the pressure they're getting on the quarterback.
This is the 5th punt by Telchik. Do you think they'll be coming after it again?
No, I don't think so. They're going to set up for a return now.
Edmonds waits inside his 40. You were right, Joe. Punt's not very well covered by the Eagles. The ball to the 33. Now it's covered. out to the 45, and a good starting position for Seattle. They have the lead 21-6 here early in the third quarter. Total 12 have already played. Jets play Monday. Denver lost today. Cincinnati won, and New England won their game. And that was a look at the playoff standings in the AFC. We'll check into that further as a first down pass by Craig goes long down the middle. Unbelievable to the tight end Gordon Hudson. What great. You hate to keep using words that are repetitious, but concentration is why he caught that ball 30 yards.
Absolutely. He goes right down the middle of the field. There you see the Eagles. They run out to double cover Largent and Darrell Turner and puts Hudson right down the middle. That's an excellent throw as well as great concentration.
Right between Cooper and the linebacker Alonzo Johnson. Ball at the 25.
You know, when you get that, the way the Eagles play it, you get that extra defensive back up around the line of scrimmage. If that tight end can get down the field, puts a lot of pressure on that secondary.
John L. Williams back in the lineup for Seattle. He's on a wing. Here's a fake to Werner. Oh. Just missed the diving Turner, who caught a touchdown pass earlier today, and a brawl back upfield. Well, that lasted. There go flags, and there's another brawl. And another flag. Why, the Tyson fight lasted longer than that one. Greg Brown was in the ring.
Now it's just a question of who they're going to decide to label this one on. There are about 5 or 6 people involved.
It's really tough to hurt anybody with those uniforms unless you punch them in the belly or kick them in the shins or stick your fingers in their eyes.
Yeah, whenever a fight started on the field, I always, walked around the sidelines.
Talk to the coach.
Yeah,
coach
I went
wanted
over
to call
and
you.
said, "What do you think, Coach?" You walk to the phone and see who's upstairs and see how it looks like up here, and you just stay away from the action. All you're going to do is hurt your hands.
Ben Dreith is the referee. Brown is out, and Simmons is into the game defensively now for the Eagles.
After the whistle, 98 for one team, 65 for the other team. Fighting, we offset them.
Nothing shaken. That was Edwin Bailey, and Greg Brown were duking it out. St. Louis is hurting Kansas City in the third quarter, 16-0, because you see Denver lost today, and Kansas City could move within a game of the lead. And there are some other finals. Chicago barely won. Detroit won handily. Minnesota lost a key game. Cincinnati's still in first place with Cleveland. Long snap count. Did he catch it? No.
Well, that ball is intended for Darrell Turner, but what happened there is Craig did the short set, and it looked to me like Greg Brown might have got his hands up at the line of scrimmage and just ticked that thing on its way out. So it goes as an incompletion. The fans boo it because it's not that good a pass, but you got to give credit to that defensive line for getting up in the air.
The x-rays were negative with regard to the Roynell Young knee injury, but he is still sidelined with a very heavy bandage. Perhaps he can play next Sunday at Los Angeles against the Raiders. 3rd and 10 here. The Eagles can't give up any more points. They're already within field goal range.
Here they come.
They're coming. Now they may be out of field goal range.
That's exactly right. That's the reason why they decided to come and put the pressure on. If Norm Johnson's going to try a field goal, they're going to make him kick one 47 yards, not 27 yards.
That's the 3rd time they've nailed Craig, and here's Norm Johnson.
Well, you're going to see what's happening right at the lower left of your screen. Number 34 is going to come in and keep David Craig in the pocket, which allows Kenny Clark to make the hit. Like we said, David Craig is not the kind of guy who's going to hurt you running the football, but he is smart enough to move around and make plays.
Norm Johnson is 0 for his last 5, 6 out of his last 8.
They've all been over
Missed
43 yards. He was hoping for a little bit of a closer one so that he could build up his confidence.
Gilbert holding the ball. Oh! Big break for the Eagles. They'll get the ball. Eagles ball, and it was Russell Gary, who used to wear the New Orleans uniform, Who blocked it? That might give a big lift to Philadelphia. They're trailing 21-6. 10 minutes left, third quarter.
Part of your screen, you see Russell Gary, and just outside of him is Evan Cooper. Now Michael Jackson, the up back, turns out to take Cooper, which allows Gary to come right down the middle. Now if this ball, if he gets the bounce he's looking for, he could have picked it up and run it in for the touchdown, but it stayed down low. Now the Eagles have good field.
First down. He can stride, can he? To the 25.
Gets a big block by Mike Quick up the field.
He runs like a pacer with his feet not high off the ground.
They don't get very high at all. They just move right along. Mike Quick out there blocking. We talk about Mike Quick. Haven't called Mike Quick's numbers a lot. The all-pro receiver for the Eagles, but now he contributes as a blocker, giving Tautalatasi a chance to make the big run.
The ball is at the Seattle 26.
The Eagles have to get some kind of points out of this drive if they want to stay in this ballgame, just from a mental standpoint.
Quickest to the left. Two tight ends, Little and Spagnuolo. He almost got back to the line of scrimmage. I bet he was wishing he could throw left-handed when he was on the go.
There you see Fred Young and Joe Nash running them out again. A lot of pressure. What it looks like the Seahawks want to do is they want to come up the middle and force Randall Cunningham out to where the outside backers are waiting for him to funnel him out of bounds and not up the field.
Now that's another sack, and that's number 7, and that sets a National Football League record. And the Eagles still have some more games to go. They come into this game having been sacked 64 times. Now it's 71, and it breaks the Atlanta record. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 11. Quick needed a little stick-em on his finger.
Oh, Mike Quick makes an incredible adjustment to the ball. He was actually looking over his outside shoulder. The ball came back over his inside shoulder and couldn't quite make the turn.
He had Kerry Justin turned around.
There, Cunningham does a nice job. Now you see how Quick's looking. Now he turns around the other way and tries to make the play.
Oh.
Tries to one-hand it in the end zone.
So close.
Fine blocking up front by the Eagles offensive line, and a lot of poise by Randall Cunningham hanging in the pocket when Seattle tried to throw the blitz at him.
Ron Baker is the anchor of that line at right guard.
I've played in this stadium when these fans get going like this, and you can't hear yourself think either in the huddle or at the line of scrimmage.
Flag is down. Pass is incomplete. Went through the hands of Garrity. We'll check the flag. I think it was Seattle offside on 3rd down.
Jacob Green at the top got a little too anxious. The noise even affected him. He couldn't hear the snap count, so he jumped offside.
It affects both sides.
Absolutely.
That'll make it 3rd and 6. .657 remaining in the 8:57 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Although that play didn't count, and it would have been nullified by a penalty anyway, what we saw Dave Brown do has happened to Seattle all year long. They've had the interceptions right in their hands, and they can't make the play.
Tony and Tautalatasi are in the backfield. Quick in motion. First down, I think. Let's see how it is. It is, as Anthony Tony made another tough grab. It's not easy to catch Cunningham. 7 yards.
No, but that one he put a lot of touch on. Tony circled out of the backfield, had one-on-one with the linebacker, had enough presence to know exactly where he had to get for the first down. And all you have to do as a quarterback is make your football team move the sticks. You don't have to make big plays, just move the sticks. That's what Cunningham's doing right now.
We have a machine here to measure the crowd noise here in the Kingdome. It is considerable. Tony's showing a lot of heart today, and he got about 5. And Keith Butler tackled him. This is the decibel meter that we have on hand And we can measure the overall crowd noise. And what do those figures mean? Well,
I don't know.
we can show you what hurts and what doesn't and what's normal. Loud Conversation 90 in a concert by Springsteen 110. Pain level 130. 10-11 taking off 150. We'll show you. 2nd and 5. Bottle to Tossie. He made one bad move. He was very close to a first down, and he came back.
He did, and he was trying to circle the defense. What he did, instead of trying to take it up the field, tried to outrun the defense. You're just not going to do that. When you get down around the 5-yard line, you got to try and put it in.
Out in the open, a move like that would work, but not down here.
Sure, in the lower part of your screen, you see Tautalatasi come out and circle around the linebacker. Cunningham does a nice job. Now he starts across. Now right there, cut up the field. No, wait, hold it. And he tries to run outside. Now you've got 3rd down and short.
Brown finished him off. Young was there. 3rd down and 2. Well, that Tony's showing me a lot. I think it's 1st and goal. See the level get up over 90.
Is that what it's like at a Bruce Springsteen concert?
I don't know. I never will know. 6:20 left in the 3rd quarter. Isn't Tony showing you a lot today?
He sure is. And in talking to Coach Ryan, he said, I'm looking for one of my backs to break out of there and take control of this so I can play him. Tautalatasi's played well. Tony has played well. And I think he's starting to get a feel for his running backs and his football team offensively now.
Eagles need a touchdown. They trail 21-6. Might see a bootleg. Tautalatasi hurdle for a couple. This is when Cunningham is dangerous down in there. Very dangerous.
And Bruce Schultz, that time, the outside linebacker for the Seahawks, was thinking the same thing you were. And as Randall Cunningham handed off, he jumped outside to make sure that he was not going to be able to outrun him to the side away from the play.
2.5 yards away.
Sometimes this is where your ability to run as a quarterback becomes a detriment because everybody's looking at it.
Even a quarterback sneak from this far out sometimes works.
I wouldn't call it. A little too far out.
Byron Darby is in there at the tight end spot, and he moved. Oh, that hurt.
Well, what happens is once you set your hands as an offensive lineman, you're not allowed to pick it up and reset it. That's drawing the defense offside. So winds up with an offensive penalty.
Darby over from the defense to the offense, and he hurt him. Now they're going to. You got to mark it off to the 7.
You can't hold Darby too much at fault. He's been used to flying off on the ball for 4 years as a defensive lineman. Now he's over on the offensive side, and things are a little bit different over there.
Hunter is in there defensively. Moyer. Justin. And a little discussion between Ken Reeves, the tackle.
Oh, that's right. Let him take a look at it.
They might have had a problem with the tackle eligible situation. Ben Dreit, the referee, explains it to him. Don't know quite what's happening here with Reeves coming off, and Michael Black is in there to play the left tackle spot. Second and goal from the 7. Jackson to the right, quick to the left. Jackson was in motion. He got rid of his man, and that's a touchdown. They reacted to the motion. He went back quickly the other way, and a 7-yard touchdown pass.
That's exactly what happens is you get the defensive back moving one way, turn around quickly and break away. That way, for sure, he's a step or two behind you. Kenny Jackson started out, broke up the field, froze the defensive back, went into the corner for the touchdown.
It's his 3rd touchdown of the year. And we have a horse of a different color here, 21-12. First touchdown in 6 quarters for the Eagles. McFadden tries the extra point. He hasn't missed this year. That's good. 21-13. And I bet McFadden rused the field goal that he missed earlier in this game.
Movement tells the quarterback and the wide receiver what type of coverage this is. With Terry Taylor moving with Kenny Jackson, you know it's man-to-man, which helps Randall Cunningham when he makes his decision to throw the football. There he lays it out and just gets it by Taylor's hands for the touchdown to Kenny Jackson.
And there's Jackson, who just caught his 3rd touchdown pass of the year.
Graduate of South River High School in South River, New Jersey.
Here's a squib kick and a good bounce for the Eagles, and it is taken by Morris. Randall Morris. He's hemmed in and knocked down near the 20-yard line. Happy Thanksgiving, folks, from all of us at CBS. And to help your Thanksgiving Day viewing, Green Bay played Chicago very tough today. They lost a close game. Detroit won their game. And those two teams will tangle in their traditional battle. All starts at 12 Eastern time. It's a doubleheader game. The Rams and the Jets in a very fine pairing early on. Then the second game, Eagles at the Raiders. So the Eagles will stay out here all week. From the 20-yard line. Giles is in place of Singletary on defense. The Eagles pound Warner down after a couple of yards. They haven't challenged this Eagle defense with the running of Warner, have they?
No, they have not. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're unable to run the football very well against the Eagles. You know, like I said, they play that 4-6 defense with 8 men close to the line of scrimmage, and it just makes it difficult to find holes and places to run.
We were watching to see if Warner would get to the 1,000 mark today, but he's going to have to have some big runs before that's over. He's only up to 19 yards on 7 carries. And they just can't rush it on the Seattle side. So they try again. And it's going to be 3rd down about 3 or 4 as the tackle was made by Reichenbach, number 55.
You know, you just can't go back into a shell. And like I mentioned earlier, as Seattle is run, then pass, put a lot of onus on your quarterback. I agree. Chuck's not very happy with the way that went either. He feels like they should be getting more yardage. You're playing right into Philadelphia's hands by coming out and running the football, making your quarterback throw. You've got to keep the Eagles off guard. And it's just puts a lot of pressure on David Craig.
3rd down and 3, a long 3. Out of the shotgun. And Craig on a draw, 1st down. How do you like that? Evan Cooper, not Evan Cooper. Andre Waters comes away with the ball. It was a good idea, but only for a while. Isn't that something?
Well, we mentioned earlier, David Craig is not like Randall Cunningham when it comes to running, but he does have the ability to run it. This has been in Seattle's offense since Jim Zorn played here. He just gets the ball away from his body, takes a Philadelphia bounce.
Gary Cobb got a hand in there. And the second Seattle turnover might let the Eagles right back in the game.
Andre Waters just seems to be where the football is. He's got 5 interceptions. There he comes up with a fumble recovery.
At the Seattle 48. Wide open to Quick, slanting in 1st down. How do you stop that?
You don't. A good crisp set, a good crisp throw, a quick route by Quick.
And it helps the offensive line.
It really does. You know, they've recorded 7 sacks, but again, some of them are not the offensive line's fault. Some of them belong to the quarterback. Others good defensive plays. There you see the type of an offense I feel like Philadelphia is going to settle into down the stretch.
That was 14 yards. Reeves is back in there at the left tackle spot. Here's a delay to Tautolatosi and a good Seattle tackle. Penetration by Reggie Kinlaw, the nose guard. They say he's not big enough to play there, Joe.
He's not big enough to play there, but in 1983, when he was with the Los Angeles Raiders, he played nose tackle against us in a game where we lost 38-9. It was a Super Bowl championship. And I want to tell you, Marcus Allen was the MVP in the game, but as far as I was concerned, Reggie Kinlaw controlled the line of scrimmage for the Raiders and made the Redskins unable to run the football, and that was the key in the football game.
Loss of a yard. Gregory Johnson checks in. Patrick Hunter defensively for Seattle. 1:50 left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10. Boy, does he sing that ball. Tuttle and Tossy, way short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 5. We're at the Kingdom in a capacity crowd. That was a 6-yard gain. The score at the half was 21-6 in favor of Seattle. The Eagles have been the only ones to score in this quarter. And here's what transpired. 2 field goals by McFadden out of 3 tries. A blocked punt for a touchdown. A punt return for a touchdown.
Blocked field goal by the Eagles to set up their last touchdown drive.
And a long touchdown pass to Turner. Now the Eagles have 3rd and 5. Blitz. They pick it up. Flag is down, and so is Cunningham. A loss on the play. And this will be a long field goal try if that's the way it ends up. Greg Gaines, 56, the linebacker, got in there, and that's the 8th sack of Randall Cunningham. And a penalty against the Eagles.
Well, I don't know. It's still a 40.
They'll probably decline it, make it 4th down. We have less than a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Holding offense 66, 10 and 3rd down.
Ken Reeves. They're going to take the penalty. Seattle has lost their starting left corner on defense, Terry Taylor, with a hip strain. So there's a place for Philadelphia to attack. That takes them out of field goal range, and it's 3rd down and 16.
It's a good decision by Seattle to take the penalty, because it does take Philadelphia out of the close range for the field goal, even though they feel like they would have had the ball back.
Said earlier that Fred Young was the shadow, but the last 2 plays it's been Greg Gaines, number 56, who's been on top of Cunningham, and it's 4th down and punting time, and they'll have to try to pin Seattle close to their goal line. 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and nobody's anxious to stop the clock, so we're going to have our period come to a close here with a 21-13 Seattle lead, apparently. That's correct. This will be the 5th punt for Telchik when we start the 4th quarter. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. 21-13 Seattle. We now pause for a word from your local station. 4th quarter gets underway with Telchik punting from the 40. Hangs it high, and Edmonds calls for a fair catch and allows it to go. Philadelphia made a good play to keep it inside the 5-yard line. And so the Seahawks have a long way to go. NFC Central. Chicago by 2 on a field goal by Butler to win that one. And Detroit over Tampa Bay, and Cincinnati handed Minnesota a bitter defeat. And here's the standings at the completion of the day. Tampa Bay still with only 2 wins, and Minnesota now 4 games behind the Chicago Bears. Thursday we have a couple of those teams at work. Green Bay at Detroit with the traditional Thanksgiving game, 12 o'clock Eastern time. Ray Nitschke will be in the studio, and Billy Sims, the former great running back at Detroit. Eagles have pinned Seattle back to their 6. Fullback Williams slanting, breaking, coming across the 10. That's a worthwhile run.
But, John L. Williams is the back that they've counted on to really complement Kurt Warner in the backfield, to take a little bit of pressure off him. They need a drive here. They had what looked like an obvious 1st down. David Craig fumbled the ball last possession they had. Their defense went out and has done the job against the Eagles. Although the Eagles have had the ball 29 minutes, 23 seconds to 15 minutes, 37 seconds, they still only have 13 points on the board. The Eagles have got to stop them here, but the Seahawks want to try and get at least a 1st down, take some time off that clock.
Williams again. No 1st down on that run. Well, Seattle dodged a bullet on that fumble by Craig earlier. Warner was blocking there. We have a rushing race. Cunningham has outrun Kurt Warner today.
A quarterback's always going to have an advantage, because when you look at a football team, nobody on the defense is designed for the quarterback. Of course, Seattle has done it today with one man, but normally nobody's going to be back there responsible for stopping the quarterback. So he's going to have an opportunity to run. I'll guarantee you, when this man gets his hands on the football, everybody's going to want a piece of it.
Here's a big play, 3rd and 2. Williams again, and he's got the first down. 3 rushes by John L. Williams, the rookie out of Florida. Take a look at his lower body. Man, he's got some legs, thighs, calves. He is tough to tackle.
Reminds me a lot of John Riggins, the lower body.
He is a package, man.
Got those big thighs. Wears those big thigh pads on in case somebody hits him. Instead of him getting hurt, the guy that hits him gets hurt.
Look at the time of possession. Philadelphia has had it for 11 minutes plus more than Seattle, yet they trail 21-13. This is first down. Warner. Very little running room. Ken Clark was there to meet him.
What Seattle's got to be careful of is they've come out and run, then had the pass. Now they've come out, run 4 consecutive times. They may be running a little time off the clock, but one big play and the Eagles are right back in this thing. So they've got to be conscious of at least trying to move the chains. I just think the Eagles are going to start to load up on them and try and stop them from running the football. Now might be a nice time to take a shot up the field.
And it took a little longer in the huddle. They might be throwing. That ball was too tough to try to catch for an interception. Johnson knocked it down. Alonso hampered with a bad leg, but playing nonetheless, and that makes it 3rd down. It's tough to intercept a throw like that from up close.
It sure. Well, here they make the play action fake to Warner. Now David Craig tries to rifle this thing up the field to Largent, or excuse me, it wasn't Largent, it was to Gordon Hudson circling out.
Largent hasn't caught many today, only one. 3rd down.
That's where credit should go to the defensive backs of the Philadelphia Eagles for keeping them shut down.
How in the world do you catch that ball? How in the world do you catch it? Flag is down. A flag is down. All kinds of coverage, but Largent caught it.
Defense holding number 29. They decline a penalty. First down.
31 yards.
This is an audible at the line of scrimmage. David Craig makes the call. When they get this type of defense with no deep help, he just puts the ball in the air, and of course if Steve Largent's around, he's going to come down with it. There you saw him get grabbed as he tried to go by.
Yeah, Fowles was the culprit, number 29. The ball at midfield.
That was an excellent job by David Craig as well as Steve Largent.
The ball. The Eagles think they have it.
They do. The Eagles have recovered it.
Fowles walks away with it. And that's the way it is. Werner, striving for extra yards, coughed it up.
Every time it looks like the Seahawks are going to put this game away, something happens to allow the Eagles an opportunity to get back in the football game.
3rd Seattle fumble today. Waters got his hand in there and took the ball loose, and Fowles came away with it. 11:41 remaining. Eagles would like to get some kind of points, even if it's only a field goal on this possession.
They need a good drive right here. Randall Cunningham's been sacked a lot the last couple of times they've had the ball. He has to get back, make a decision, and make a throw.
On the tight end, didn't he? Spagnuolo inside the 40. What's happened to Randall Cunningham? Remember last year he was...
Last week he got hit 30 times.
Last week 30 times, and so far this week 23. Tackled 15, sacked 8, knocked down after throwing the ball 0 times.
So you can't do that through the course of a 16-game season and hope to play every game for a long time. They'll learn.
Ball at the Seattle 39. Try it again. Nope. He went a little deeper. He had both receivers open, and he hit quick for about 9.
There you see him set in the pockets. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set throw. Doesn't give the defense a chance to get on you, and even if they do bring somebody free, you can get the ball off.
And he's not taking that arm all the way back either.
No, he's not. You know, we're used to seeing him bring that thing all the way back in a whip fashion and then put it up the field. He's got it in nice and close to his body and getting rid of it in a heartbeat.
Todd checks in with Anthony Toney in the backfield. 10.5 minutes left in the game. 2nd and 1. Toney in motion. The Wham play, and Todd, I think, has the first down. I thought Toney also was very close to be
Looked like he almost
going
turned
upfield.
Up. Yep, looked like he started to go upfield. There, the Redskins
pounding Dallas.
Beating up on Dallas in Washington.
And the Rams are going to win their 8th game of the year, apparently. And San Francisco is going to stay right behind them with their 7th victory. Things are changing in that NFC West. And look what St. Louis is doing to Kansas City. That's really going to hurt the Chiefs.
That was not a first down. Brings up 3rd down and short. Now's when you use the quarterback sneak. Not when you're down around the goal line 4 or 5 yards. Just let this big guy lean forward and pick it up for you.
Got it. Following the big center, Matt Darwin, the rookie out of Texas A&M. Number 78, who's playing, by the way, in place of Jerry Fury. Boy, they lost a good one when they lost their center, didn't they?
They have just had so much trouble up front, just with the loss of people. You know, Conwell played 1 year, Hayden 1 year, Darwin a rookie, Baker's played 9. And you just have Mike Black's a rookie. Landis's a rookie. I mean, that's a very young football team that's still learning how to play in the National Football League.
Jackson out, Garrity a wide receiver, east to the left. Spagnuolo gets the Eagles another first down.
What it looks like they're doing is the Eagles are sending their tight end and their 2 wide receivers 10 yards down the field and just hooking up, allowing Randall Cunningham to read the coverage and go to the man who's one-on-one or in the soft area of the zone.
He looks like a pretty good NFL quarterback in this period.
He's really playing well. You see up top the screen, Garrity will make the turn. He runs the hook. Spagnuolo runs the hook in the middle. Cunningham does a fine job of finding the seam and getting the ball to the man who's open.
At the 12, first down. Quick and Jackson, the wide receivers. It's too bad for the Eagles. He was rushed so hard because Spagnuolo was uncovered.
He was wide open, but again, credit Randall Cunningham just getting the football off. They brought everybody. Bruce Schultz is going to hit him from the lower part of your screen. You see everybody just come. There's Schultz right in his face. He gets a sandwich and still manages to get it off.
That stops the clock with 8:28 left in the game. We've forgotten the score. It's 21-13. Seattle. Cunningham had completed 8 in a row until that misfire. 2nd and 10. Extra backs for Seattle. Cunningham looking to run. And staying on top of him was Paul Moyer. It's a good thing Moyer had him covered. He'd have walked right into the end zone.
Well, he's the other guy that's going to be designated to Randall Cunningham. You get in 3rd down situations. They have a linebacker in 1st and 2nd. You get in 2nd and long or 3rd down situations. You're going to wind up having those safety men on them.
Here's a late flag. Somebody said something apparently. Might have been Reeves.
Get Ben over here in a clear area where we can find out what's going on.
I think he was singing and he was gonged. We'll see who did it. Yeah, it's going to be against the Eagles. Procedure call. Shaking the head. It was first down at the 12.
One thing Buddy Ryan said he was never going to complain about. He was never going to complain about the officiating. I'll guarantee he's not real happy with it, but he's not going to complain about it.
The ball is marked down at the 11.
This is an interesting decision for the Seahawks.
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 79 was on the end of the line, did not report. They're going to decline a penalty. It's going to be 3rd down.
Joe Conwell was uncovered, as they say.
What I meant by an interesting decision is, what do? Do you put him back 5 yards and give him that extra down, or do you take away that down and let him have the short completion and now come up with one more down?
You know what, Joe? Even if they don't get the first down, trailing by 8 points, they need the field goal, if nothing else. Talking about the Eagles.
That's why, I agree with the decision they made. Take away the down. Don't give them 2 chances to try and go for the touchdown. Stop them here. Make them try and kick the field goal.
3rd and 7. The flag is down, and the ball's caught by Jackson after the tip. Now let's check the flag. Let's check the flag. Touchdown, Eagles.
Defensive holding 23, decline a penalty, touchdown.
And that's something. We've got a game now, folks. It's 21-19. 8:18 left.
Here you'll see it. Cunningham going back, puts the ball up in the air. Now this is the thing that, in talking to Seattle's coaches, has been their problem. That is a clean interception. Goes right through the defender's hands, right into Kenny Jackson's hands. Touchdown. Patrick Hunter had it right in his hands, tipped off for the touchdown. That's their 12th or 13th this year that's gotten away from them.
Extra point is good, and we have a 21-20 game with 8:18 remaining. The second touchdown pass of the day for Kenny Jackson, and pretty good leadership on the field by Randall Cunningham.
Now he gets a lot of pressure here, Nash, and he just hangs this one up. Like I said, Patrick Hunter's got a clean shot at it. And in talking to Ralph Hawkins, the defensive backfield coach for Seattle, he said, this has been our problem. We've had 10 prior to this ball game right in our hands and let him get away.
McFadden kicks it off. Bobby Joe Edmonds took it on the 9. He's murdered. He's slammed down beyond the 25-yard line. That touchdown, by the way, followed the recovery of that Werner fumble with 11:41 left. Thanksgiving weekend of collegiate football for you on CBS, starting on Friday after our Green Bay-Detroit game, an ACC matchup. The Terrapins and the Cavaliers. Saturday, Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Southern Cal. It doesn't matter the records. Those are always good games. So football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on CBS. From the 33. Ooh, that was close. Fowles, who's playing the corner in place of Roynell Young, was very aggressive on that one.
And Daryl Turner did a fine job of breaking that play up. Now, whether or not he hit Evan Cooper before, hard to say. There's fouls. I mean, he makes a play on the ball, sets. A lot of times the defensive corners are taught to read the drop of the quarterback. If he goes 5 steps, that's going to be about a 10-yard out. You sit there and break on the ball. That time he almost had it.
From the 29, it's 2nd and 10, and a toss to Werner. Makes his cut, and down he goes. 3rd and long coming up. Tackled by Mike Rockenbach. 7:55 left in the game. Let's look at the AFC Central and what transpired there today. Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. Cincinnati over Minnesota, and Houston won a game over Indianapolis. As a result, this is the way it stands right now. Cleveland and the Bengals still tied for first, and the others out of it. This is 3rd and 8.5. First down.
David Craig does a fine job of avoiding the rush. Warner makes the play, but Steve Largent allowed him the opportunity to get the first down. There you see at the bottom of your screen, David Craig is going to flat avoid the rush. Gets around, gets it off to Warner. Now watch there, the left part of your screen, you'll see a blur go by. That's Largent making a block.
He got away from Giles.
On Andre Waters to give Warner the opportunity to pick up the first down.
Waters hasn't done a heck of a lot today, has he?
No, and Dwayne Giles really had a shot at David Craig.
Ball at the Seattle 47, first down. That was a 3rd down play. He's caught only 2, and here is a keeper by Craig, and a very good deceptive play, good for about 6 or 7.
I don't think that was a deceptive play. I
blew
don't think, yeah, I think he just flat blew it. He didn't really have the handle. He made a smart decision.
Look at there.
There's a ball game for you. He made a smart decision by not handing off to Williams. I think he might have felt that it might have been fumbled. Instead, he made the decision to turn up the field, keep the football. Turned out having something positive happen. Good headsy play by the quarterback.
Philadelphia 48-yard line is the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 4. Seattle needs this drive. They lead by only 1 point. Williams. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Stumbled forward that time. Couldn't keep his footing, or probably would have picked up the first down. The Seahawks have finally established a drive. It seems to me what they've decided they want to do is they want to run behind Mike Wilson and Brian Millard on the right side. They feel like Ken Clark and Reggie White are not that big. Ken Clark was primarily used in the 3-4 defense before Buddy Ryan came to Philadelphia as a pass rusher, not a run stopper. So they feel like they have a weight advantage to that side, and they're pounding it to the right side.
2 tight ends, Tice and Hudson, 3rd and 1. Very close. That's very close. It's a first down. Hogue and Waters, the safety men, tackled it. In the AFC East today, New England won their game, giving them their 9th victory of the year, and Houston beat Indianapolis. And here are the standings. Jets play on Monday. New England's staying on their tail, and the others out of it, including Miami. Ball at the 43. First down. And with Largent, and that is his 3rd of the day. That gives him 50 for the year, and that is the 9th year that he has caught 50 or more. 17 yards. So you can see what he's been doing. He held the record at 8, and he extends it to 9 years with 50 or more receptions.
At time, he was working on Elbert Fowles on the outside, drove him up the field by moving Craig out of the pocket, bought some time for the deeper route, came back in virtually a pass that's unstoppable.
Philadelphia 26. First down. Good drive by Seattle. And Warner gets only about a yard. Remember, Seattle has fumbled 3 times today, and that's what's kept them from tucking this one away.
Well, there you see, as even that time, as Warner went into the line of scrimmage, you could see that slashing type of runner that he is. The ball's out, flailing around a little bit. Every now and then, he gets away from his body. Somebody gets a hand on it, and it goes on the ground.
I started to say earlier in the telecast that he visited with Walter Payton at a banquet in April, and Walter gave a little lecture, and he said it really helped him, especially with his training and running and extending himself. 2nd and 9. Scanzi is in as the extra wide receiver. And he was separated from the ball that time. Largent had to cough it up as he was whacked by Hogue and Andre Waters. Hogue was shaken up earlier. He's filling in for Wes Hopkins.
Here's a throw by David Craig. All he does is split his wide receivers out and send them right straight down the field. There the ball goes right up, does a fine job, gets a little bit behind Largent. And he'll normally make that catch, and then the pop separates him from the football.
Craig is 12 out of 22. Hogue is limping and staying in there.
Now, if he doesn't go out of the ball game as a quarterback and as a coach, you see that. And what you might want to do is spread your teams out. You put in your 4 wide receivers. You make them play defense. You know now he's hurt a little bit. Look him one way and go the other way.
Another 3rd down play. 3rd and 8. They're after him. He gets rid of it, and it is caught. And that's a first down. Paul Scanzi with a big catch. First down, and a good job of getting rid of the ball.
That's the advantage of the shotgun formation. Here you'll see David Craig right at the middle of your screen.
Simmons
Gets a
was
lot
on
of
top of
pressure
him.
on him. Simmons is on him. Bernard Wilson's on him. He makes the throw.
10 yards.
And Scansey just does make the play. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't where it was supposed to be as far as the classic goes. The coverage gave the man an opportunity to get that open, but it's still a completion and a big first down.
The Eagles have to make Seattle, with 3:40 left in the game, settle for a field goal and not get the touchdown. Seattle wants the clinching TD. Two tight ends, Hudson and Tice.
Throw it away. Throw it away.
They did.
He almost didn't. That's the kind of thing you have to do. You're down there in a situation where you have an opportunity to put your football team up by 4 points. Make the other team score a touchdown to beat you. Don't throw it in the end zone, but realize that you have that opportunity and then get rid of it and come back and go to second down.
Offensive interference against Seattle was called in the end zone. And Andre Waters looking to the bench for some help. It'll either be 2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line.
The only field goal attempt that Seattle's tried today.
Offensive pass interference. 85, back 10, and first down.
Tell us,
10-yard penalty.
Tell us. As I was starting to say, the only field goal attempt has been blocked, so they have to be conscious of where it is. There you see Craig rolling to your right of your screen now. Right up the top right of your screen.
Hudson.
Gordon Hudson's going to push off on fouls. Now Craig fires that thing.
It was away from the ball, but they made the call. Seattle has run 11 plays and kept the ball for almost 5 minutes on this drive, and it's first down and 20.
They've got to be careful not to lose much more yardage, or else they're going to be out of Norm Johnson's range.
And a very good tackle was made on Warner by Reggie White. He's been checking up a couple of times today, but he didn't miss that time, did he? Lost 3. 3:10 left in the game. Clock running.
You know, Gary Cobb has sort of become the defensive leader of that Eagle football team, and he is, and with the philosophy that Buddy Ryan has, he said, you know, there was so much to learn in the beginning, it took away a little of our aggressiveness. Now as we become more comfortable with the system, we can get more aggressive, we can make more things happen on defense, and that's what they seem to be doing now, is setting the tone for this football team.
Wilson and Gary and Johnson and Simmons come in. 2nd down and long, 2nd and 23. Scansey with another big catch inside the 20, short, way short of a first down. Russell Gary made that tackle, 9-yard gain. And another 3rd down play coming up for Seattle. They've been clicking on 3rd down.
They have, but right now what they want to do is probably,
First of all, they're going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute.
that would be the thing, you got to use the time. You're in the 2-minute area, you're in a field goal range. Run something where you can get the ball off quick, not take a big sack, or get a shot at maybe a touchdown, and then try for the field goal to put some points on the board. You don't want to come out of here with nothing.
3rd and 14 at the Eagle 18-yard line, and the 2-minute warning. Well, tonight on CBS, your car lurches out of control. Look how close they come, and then you consider the 13-10 loss to the Bears, the 17-14 loss to Dallas. They could be a heck of a lot better than 3-8.
They're a lot better football team than their record indicates. I think the people in Philadelphia are going to be in for a real fine building program for a great football team.
Byers and Tunnel-Atossi are the deep men. And a timely deep kick by Norm Johnson. Johnson had been 0 for 6 before he knocked that one between the uprights, and now a deep kickoff. Happy Thanksgiving, Green Bay and Detroit. Tune in CBS on Thanksgiving Day. Then looking ahead to next Sunday, it's a doubleheader day on CBS. The Rams and the Jets. That's a terrific matchup. Starts at 12:30 Eastern time. And the second game, the Eagles at the Raiders. They'll stay out here on the coast all week long. Now they've got 80 yards to go. They need a touchdown.
A few weeks ago, you probably would have been concerned about Randall Cunningham being the quarterback. But I feel like he's come a long way, and now what you do is just set back in the pocket, do what you've been doing, set, throw, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Good decision.
Threw it to the turf.
And a flag. Got a late
and
flag.
a flag. Did you see anything out there, Joe?
I think that Gaines just might have taken a shot at somebody a little bit late. Greg Gaines. He threw his arms up in the air when the flag went down. We'll find out from Ben Dreif exactly what's going on.
Even on a busted play like that, there's offensive interference.
They just changed it to offensive interference.
Oh, they did? They called it defensive first.
Right. Now it's going to be offensive interference. You get calls like that when the quarterback breaks the pocket. You know, the wide receivers are trying to find a place to
Illegal man on the offense was downfield, 10 yards, and it's first down.
Ineligible man downfield.
Remember we were talking to Ron Baker yesterday. He said one of the things that's so much of a problem for him is Randall Cunningham starts to look like he's going to run.
You go down and try to help.
The offensive linemen want to help him out, and they wind up getting caught down the field. This is going to have to be something that they'll learn to deal with as they play longer together.
Now they've got 90 yards to go. And now the Seattle players say to the crowd, make some noise. Tossy good for only a few yards. Second and long. Big hit by Eugene Robinson, number 41. Hurry up offense. Timeout, Philadelphia. There's our score. 1:32 left. Thank you, Brent. 1:32 remaining. The ball's at the 15. And it's second down and 15.
This is a point where they're going to have to try and get the ball 13, 14, 15 yards up the field to limit their wide receivers. In this type of a situation, they'd like to try and go to Mike Quick.
He's to the right. Cunningham throws outside, and Jackson caught it. Let's see what kind of forward progress. He's in bounds, and the clock runs. And is it enough for a first down? There are a lot of people in our way here, and we can't quite see.
Yes, it is.
It is a first down. So they're on the move from the 30. And high and away. Stops the clock with 1:05 left. That was quite a catch by Jackson. I thought for a while earlier he had jumped too quickly.
Well, it looked like he might have. He held on to the ball. That time it was a good thing that Randall Cunningham did throw the high hard one, or else he would have had that one picked off, trying to go to Mike Quick.
Fred Young was on top of him. Buddy Ryan sweating it out. His club trailing by 4.
Big catch by Kenny Jackson and big throw by Randall Cunningham. He's still got to try and eat up some yardage there. He doesn't have the luxury of a lot of time.
He still has 2 timeouts. 4-man rush. Boy, can he move around? Now he throws on the run, and it's caught, and that's a first down. Anthony Toney helped him out. That's the 3rd or 4th time today that Toney has come up with a big catch, 17 yards.
Randall Cunningham's ability to dance around in the pocket bailed him out of a jam right there. Scrambled out to the right side. Toney, I think it's got to be a little difficult for the receivers as well to get used to a quarterback that moves around. You know, Ron Jaworski, Ronnie was never the fleetest of foot. And he used to sit in the pocket and just surgically move the ball down the field. With Randall Cunningham, everybody's sort of wondering where he's going to be. Where should I look?
That was the 5th reception by Toney. Quick. Kenny Jackson are both to the right side from the 47. Eagles need a touchdown. Tip and almost an interception by Eugene Robinson. I hate to use this word, Joe, but that looked like almost a careless throw. Well, he didn't get on top of the ball at all.
He started it. The ball gets back, and this gives you an idea of the strength of his arm. He starts back with it, stops it halfway, and then restarts to let it go. Not something you want to do and throw the ball accurately. It amazed me that it got out as close as it did to Mike Quick.
51 seconds left. 24-20, Seattle, 2nd and 10. Duckworth is in there. Garrity is in there. Boy, he can fire it went downfield. He tried to get it to Duckworth. He was shadowed by Dave Brown, and it's 3rd and 10.
That's not just one of his strong suits yet. It's that long touch pass, the anticipation of the receiver of where he's going to be. He's almost got to see the receiver and then make the throw. It's that anticipation and that youthfulness that'll have to grow as he plays the position of quarterback.
44 seconds remaining. The Eagles have 2 timeouts, so they can afford to complete something in the middle of the field. They need a touchdown.
Seattle has every defensive back that they have on their roster in the secondary now.
4-man rush. Hey, look at Jackson. He stopped running. For a moment, he stopped running, and he was short. That's what he's angry about, I think.
Well, no, I think he didn't anticipate Cunningham putting it out that far. Again, Randall Cunningham having such a strong arm gets the ball up the field. Now Kenny Jackson's running back to the huddle and say, "Oh gosh, we were so close." There you see him right in the middle of your, right down the lower part of your screen. He just takes off. Cunningham sets, and then just fires it. This ball doesn't have a chance to get caught. It's just way over the head of Kenny Jackson. He just didn't have enough speed to get there.
4th down. This could be the last play of the day for the Eagles. We, by the way, are going to see the Eagles when they play St. Louis in a couple of weeks.
There you see Chuck Knox telling everybody, don't get up too close. Stay back. Play the center field.
4-man rush. 4th down. That's it. Work, huh, Fred Young? That's the 9th sack of the Philadelphia quarterback. And the clock ran down to 26 seconds. The ball goes over
Joe Nash, Jacob Green, Freddie Young. Young's just had a great football game for the Seahawks.
And they did it with a 4-man rush.
Basically, they did. They rushed Green, Kinlaw, and Mitz, and Joe Nash occasionally, and they turned Freddie Young loose to say, look, you are Randall Cunningham's personal escort all afternoon. You stay on top of him, and he has.
They had 9 sacks today. Previously, they had only 22.
Same thing that happened in Detroit last week. Detroit just had 12, and they wound up with 11 against the Eagles.
Timeout called by Philadelphia. They've put some pressure on Cunningham today. Tackled him 17 times. Sacked him 9 times. Knocked him down 7 times after throwing the ball. We have 21 seconds left in the half. Eagles have one more timeout. 21 seconds left in this game. Meanwhile, 51 seconds left in the Ram game. You can assume a victory there, and 1:23 remaining at San Francisco. You can assume a victory there, and so you see the Rams stay a half game ahead of the 49ers, and New Orleans loses a tough one there at 6-6. Another snap of the ball, another timeout by the Eagles, but then they won't be able to do anything about the next snap. Andre Waters gets involved there. Joe Theismann, we're going to get involved at Bookbinders in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be in Philadelphia and St. Louis. Get a chance to win next week.
What do you think of this kid here today?
I'm impressed. I think Randall Cunningham is going to be one of the fine young quarterbacks. There's a lot to learn to play the position of quarterback, but he seems like he's starting to get a presence out there. He's understanding a little more about how to play the position. The toughest thing that he's going to have to learn is when to throw the football away and when to run with it. He looks like now he wants to run with it first, and that'll come with just more and more play. I think the Eagles have got a great foundation to build on. They're going to be a football team to reckon with in the future.
Seattle had lost 4 in a row. This snaps that.
Eagles have just lost their 4th in a row.
Right. And their next game is against the Raiders. Well, the Raiders will have their hands full. You can bet on that.
Absolutely. Anybody who plays the Eagles is going to have their hands full. As we've mentioned, 5 games previous to this one, they've lost by 3 points or less.
Okay, the folks will count it down here. They had the help of the home crowd here in Seattle.
Seattle's got to feel good about the play of David Craig as well.
And McFadden made a couple of field goals, but he missed one from 42, so he'll be buzzing about that one. And the special teams won the day for Seattle, Joe.
Rusty Tillman and his special teams got a block punt and a big punt return by Edmonds.
makes a big difference in the game.
The final score was 24-20. Coming up next in the NFL wrap-up show.